Welcome to your November 2021 edition of Playdate, the monthly conversational gaming podcast by the folks at Now to Play Games. Today on the show I have John and Keith. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
John, just before the show you revealed to me you got a package in the mail today. Do you want to reveal
I did get a package.
Listeners at home what that is?
All the listeners at home who can't see this, but I am actually holding my Nintendo Switch online N64 controller. I actually ordered it. I haven't opened it. I've played a little bit of the online stuff, but I wanted to see and test to see how well it actually held up comparative to the actual N64 controller.
Right.
So you know what? Let's just, you want to do a quick unboxing?
Yeah, quick unboxing on the show, you know?
Yeah, let's just do that.
It looks just as beefy and unwieldy as the original N64 controller.
It feels that way.
Easily my least favorite controller of all time is the N64 controller.
Let's get that little creak on. Everyone likes that.
You mean the murder weapon?
Yeah, look at that thing.
Wow.
God.
That actually... Do I have an... No, I don't have an N64 controller close to me. It's like, for comparison,
Show me its
do I
expansion bay. I want to see its expansion bay. Oh, boo. It's just a solid piece. Boo.
I will admit, I want to say it's a little thinner. I don't remember... granted, I'm an old man now, but I remember this being a little bit bigger, but I know... distinctly remembering the wings and the tip itself being a little bit thicker. All in all, though, it still feels like an N64 controller. I do want to say, right off the top of my head, the joystick actually feels like it sticks out a little bit farther. And I don't focus on me, Cameron. Don't focus on me.
You got it.
It feels like it just sticks out a little bit farther. It's very weird. Everything else, it feels...
How's the weight?
Yeah, it feels like an N64 controller.
Does it feel heavy?
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, just nice.
No, this thing's light. You can tell it's a lot lighter, and I think maybe that might be what's throwing me off in the sense of the thickness that I thought it was. Mm-hmm. Buttons still actually feel like N64 buttons. I'm sorry, Finn, in your pro speedrunning of Tetris, it doesn't have the right D-pad for you.
Right. What you want is 4 separate buttons.
Four separate ones? Okay.
John likes the rule, though.
But
I get a feeling
what?
I'm feeling what's contributing to its lack of weight is the fact that you're not having a hefty rumble pack shoved into the back end.
No, that's the craziest part too, is just looking at that. We all remember having the rumble pack or the expansion pack and all that crap back there. Or I had Pokemon Stadium, so I would pop that thing in there, and I had gold and silver and all that plugged in there. Not gold and blue is what I played. Gold, blue, and red. To play Pokemon Stadium on the N64, so
you're one of them gold kids.
That's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited for this. I'm really looking forward to jumping into the N64 stuff, minus what I've heard, which we won't talk about too much. But yeah, I'm ready to play.
As we're recording this, it just released yesterday or the day before, and it's gotten wildly unpositive reception.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of side-by-side screenshot comparisons. I haven't jumped into it myself yet. I've just been sort of absorbing the online discourse about it. For me, it's going to be weird, though. I don't know if I should even... I was super set on the fact that I was going to get it before. I'm not even sure now. And this feels more like a me and you podcast, John, or thing, sure. John. But yeah.
We'll talk about it. I guarantee you that.
It seems like a thing where people are saying, if you never played the original, it kind of ruins some stuff, especially with things like Ocarina of Time. And I'm like, should this be the first way I experience this game? Probably not.
Probably not, no.
So we'll see how that pans out. But yeah. Guys, it's cold, or at least it's cold for me. I don't know what it's like over there in sunny Texas these days. But yeah, winter has struck. And so I'm recording this podcast with a nice cup of tea. I'm wearing a blanket, trying to keep cozy. Another thing that keeps you cozy is some good news. So I want to start off this podcast with some good vibes. Let's each of us share a piece of good news, either that from your own life or stuff you've heard. Just warm the soul. You know what I mean? Just warm the soul of our viewers, warm the soul of each other. Keep us nice and cozy. John, we can start with you, maybe.
Oh, you want to start with me?
Yeah,
okay.
Share some good news.
Some good news I have is I'm still winning our Now to Play Fantasy League.
Barely.
I'm still winning that.
Barely.
I want you to know that. I am still winning. Even though and I'll fully admit, I have stumbled at the very end of this. I've stumbled, but thankfully, Rose, her last pick, has started losing her points. We're pretty close. Finn, you're coming up on me.
I'm so
But I believe in Master Chief, and I think Master Chief is going to get me this win. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm on the uptick. I did some calculations, right? So the remaining games I have that I think are going to come out, I'm not counting Windjammers 2 because I have no idea what's going on with that game.
Yeah.
I think that if I at least get 10 points per game, if they're all at least a solid 80, I think I overtake you guys in points. The only thing left at that point to think about is Halo Infinite.
And so, which I think will knock you down.
This isn't something I would do, but this just shows you how much this league means to me. At one point, I considered backdoor shady deals with Tim to get him to drop Halo Infinite.
Are you?
I think that would I think that would cancel out the counter pick. I'm not sure. I can't remember how it works, but that thought crossed my mind.
Dog.
That crossed my mind.
Dog. Oh my collusion!
It was one of them thoughts that just came to me, and I was like, I would never do that. Just that's so shady, but that's how much I care.
And people call me a min-maxing exploit using bastard. Holy crap!
Oh god! Oh, the amount of pissed off I would be. I'm like, wait, why did Tim drop Halo? I'm like, no, because we can all see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I found out that we can all see that stuff. I'm like, what did you do? What did you do?
So there's never been a political level of intrigue in Fantasy Critic before, and I wanted to bring that to it. But no, I think I might. If Forza hits the way Forza always hits, I might be able to stand on my own 2 feet.
I'm scared of Forza. I'll be honest. I think Forza is going to get you at least 20 points. And we'll get to that. But yes, Forza is the one that scares me.
Keith, any good news on your end these days, or anything that you've seen that made you a little bit happy?
No, yesterday we got some big, decent news. We had, was it yesterday? I slept and I keep forgetting the time. We had the state of play going on for the little third-party titles. And Square Enix logo popped in, and I was thinking, oh no, I'm going to be the clown of the group. I 100% said Final Fantasy 16 is not going to show up. I'm going to be a clown. And lo and behold, I'm not a clown because we're getting a long-awaited Tri-Ace game. And I think I tweeted about it a long time ago that I wanted a new Tri-Ace game to come out, and we're getting Star Ocean.
Right.
And oh boy.
Yeah. It was one of those things where, again, the Square Enix logo popped up, and again, everyone thought Final Fantasy, and so I was like, oh god, we're all clowns. But
yeah,
Star Ocean, again, not a series I've ever delved into, not a series I think I ever will delve into, but I was like, in terms of what the state of play was, it was very quick, it was very light. That was just one of those games where I was like, hey, that's a win for the fans, you know what I mean? Absolutely on board with this. Never gonna play it, but absolutely on board with this Star Ocean stuff. And I instantly thought of you, Keith, whenever the trailer popped up.
Same.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well,
I can't wait for one day to go on a rant about Star Ocean series. It's going to be wonderful.
Did Tri-Ace make anything else? It's not a developer name I'm familiar with.
Tri-Ace makes a lot of RPGs. They are a branch. So we recently know Tales came out.
Yeah.
Originally, the Tales team and the Tri-Ace were originally the same team, but they split off. Mm-hmm. They were originally a part of something called Wolf Team. So they split off and did their own separate thing.
Sounds like a Kojima spinoff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Team Wolf.
And they both branched into action RPG, believe it or not. And so Tri-Ace makes the Valkyrie Profile series. They made Radiata stories for the PS2. Star Ocean, Infinite Undiscovery, I think the name of it was, for the Xbox, for Xbox 360. It's hard to remember some of the titles that come through there. Yeah. But they make a lot of action RPGs.
Mm-hmm. All stuff that would be up your alley, I guess.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. We can maybe get a rant about that closer to that game's release. Or just unprompted. Anytime you want to come on here and just rant about RPGs, you know it's welcome.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, we'll make a segment for that at some point. For me, the good news. This isn't really news so much, so I'm kind of cheating on my own game here. But it's good news for me every time I get a picture of my brother's new dog. and he sent me this one earlier tonight, and it just made me so happy. He's all like decorated for Halloween.
Aww.
He's got nice little jack-o'-lanterns. His name is Pod the dog, so it's hard to tell from like the picture I'm holding up to the camera and it won't focus, but that is his jack-o'-lantern. It says Pod on it, and that just filled me with delight earlier today. Yeah, in case, because this is a November episode, we're recording this pre-Halloween to get it out to you guys early enough. So Halloween's still on the horizon for us, but long since past when you're hearing this. As a reminder, this is Playdate, our monthly podcast where we love playing games so much that we talk about them in all three tenses, past, present, and future. And in this cozy November edition, we'll be doing some sleuthing, and towards the end of the show, we'll be looking ahead at the games come out this month. But first, we must begin with talking about what games we've been playing this past month. And we'll start off with a biggie, probably the biggest game, most talked about game of the month, at least according to my Twitter feed. A game that me and John have been playing is Metroid Dread. More like Metroid Delight. I think that's the blurb for this. But yeah, I think, John, we'll start with you because I've beat the game. I'm fresh off of beating this game. Rolled credits 20 minutes before this podcast started. Yeah. Right in there. Needed to finish this game. But you're playing it a little bit slower. You're playing it for stream. So you're playing a little bit of a slower pace. How far are you into it now these days?
I should have checked time. I think I'm probably somewhere around 5-ish, 6 hours in. Mm-hmm. I think I've got 3 Emmys left when it comes to the game, and I absolutely love this game. This is really up there with something I'll be honest, I've never really finished a Metroid. I've started a lot of them, but it never clicked with me to finish them out. And I've heard great things. I've never played Super Metroid. I've started it. Started and stopped. Yeah. And this one, I went in, I need to finish the game, and I plan on finishing the game. And it's just so much fun to be attacked by an Emmy. And just, I don't know why I like that concept of being attacked where this thing is just hunting me and all I can do is run. Mm-hmm. Especially if I don't have the right power up. All I can do is run, and it's so entertaining to watch, especially in chat, asking me how I'm jumping over the Emmy without getting attacked. Like, I am pixel perfect jumping over Emmy where she does not grab me. Yeah. And everyone's just like, how did you pull it off? I'm like, guys, it's me. I'm lucky. I have no idea. I can't even tell you.
Guys, it's me.
It's me. I mean, what do you want from me?
No, it's definitely that system, and I've never played Resident Evil 2 or 3, so I've never had the Mr. X or Nemesis constantly hunting you system. I've never had that experience in a game. And so this Emmy is sort of like my entry into that. And I had the same exact thing where my butt was clenched 90% of that game. Yes. And it was so fun every time, especially when you do get the means to kill it. It just makes it so sweeter that you're spending such long parts of the game running from these things and hiding from these things that when you do get the power up to defeat one Emmy at a time, it really just feels like you could do anything at that point.
Satisfying.
So satisfying. And it clears the map and you can just explore after it. It's so fun. But yeah, I was going to ask about your history with the Metroid series because I have no history at all. I have no histories of Metroidvanias in general. Never really played through a Metroidvania, never played through a Castlevania game or Metroid or even things like Hollow Knight I haven't delved into yet. So this was a completely new experience for me. And I guess the thing that I wonder about is, were other people battering their heads against the wall as much as me? Were you struggling as much as me to figure out what to do, where to go? Or did it sort of come more naturally to you?
After playing Hollow Knight and being in the Metroidvania, it's a little more natural. There are times when I still have to remember these games are not A, B, C, D. It is A, F, K, L, and you just jumping all over. And it's the nice part about having chat with you where I'm I'm trying something and I just look over, Rose looks over and is like, John, you don't have that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I just keep on going. So that's the nice part about it. But that was my first run with Hollow Knight when I played it on my own. I was just like, what is this game? How do I do this? And I didn't fully comprehend the idea of I can't finish this area. Yeah. So I have to go somewhere else and then come back. That really took me a lot to put together you just can't do it. You're done for this point right here. You'll come back later. And it took me a long time to finally let myself understand, oh yeah, it's cool. I'm still moving forward, even though in my head I haven't checked off B, and I'm just moving on to the C part of the list. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I understand that one, to be honest with you, because it was just like, I just want to finish this area, move on to the next area, and that's how I think. But now games, you can't really do that. Like Metroidvania is the main example. Like, you have to come back. You have to find the wall chicken. You have to hit a wall that you didn't even know was a wall that you could break. But if you just looked just right, something glimmers and you're like, oh, I can break the damn wall. And you're just like, how many walls have I missed?
Yeah, it got the full spectrum for me, John. From this is genius level game design. I can't believe how smooth this is all feeling. The fact that I'm going through the same areas again, but in different ways. Yeah. It felt so well designed and so mind blowing to me. All the way to the other end of it, where it's like, I am stuck and I have no idea what this game wants me to do, and I'm just sad now. I feel like it might have gone a bit better for me across my playthrough if, again, I had that history in Metroid. I had the idea of what items I didn't have, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, at the start of the game, Samus is depowered, got rid of all her items for story reasons, and over the course of the game, you build back up these items, and they're items you've experienced in past Metroid games, like the Morph Ball and the Bomb and the rockets and stuff. And I feel like if I had an idea, like a roadmap in my head of what items I've yet to hit, I would have had a better idea of, like, I can't do this puzzle yet, and I just need to give up. Because some of them, it feels like when you look at them at first, I can't do them, but then other ones are like, oh, yeah, I actually could do this the whole time. I just didn't think about it. I just assumed.
And I think that's probably what helped me. I knew at least the weapons of Samus, so I was like, it was one of those, since I've never really beat one of them, I was like, okay, what is this? What does it do? And then as I'm playing the game, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sure I needed that little bomb to activate this. I don't have the little bomb yet when I'm in Morph Ball time, so like, I'll come back to that one. That really helped, like, click the pieces together for me to play and actually really, really enjoy what I've played so far, and I freaking love this game.
Yeah, it's really, really solid. Once you do get to grips with, like, the language of the game, I guess, you do just sort of go into this flow, and platforming feels super good. Killing enemies just feels super good, and you could just, like, keep. There's again, I couldn't put this game down and leave it again, because I felt like sometimes when I got really frustrated with the game, I set the controller down. It was like, I'll probably never touch this again. I should for playdate and stuff like that, but I'll probably never touch this again. And I can't stop thinking about it when I'm walking around. I'm like, I need that feeling. I need that feeling of, like, sliding and blasting things, and it just kept bringing
hits
me
the
back.
itch.
Oh yeah,
it literally hits an itch of with video games, and it, like you said, level design and how good it feels just to blow shit up as Samus, and it's so freaking rewarding.
Mm-hmm. And this constant power creep, and the game constantly giving you feedback, reminding you how powerful you've gotten since the start, just really encourages you and makes you want to keep going further and further into it. But man, as good as go ahead.
I have to ask real fast. Did you notice that when you get a power up, if you go to your big map, it starts blinking on where that power up can be used?
No. And this is what I'm going to segue into, right?
Yeah. Like when you get a new power up, if you open the big map thing, the rooms start flashing, and that's the power up you can actually use. You have a power up for that specific part of the map. Oh shit!
That would have been
between that
so
and then did you notice
know.
Did you notice the I'm going to call them the blue butterflies? Did you notice those?
So I knew the game was trying to tell me something. I couldn't figure out what
it's the blue butterflies. The blue, and it's correct us. I don't care. I want to say the blue butterflies are the ones that help you progress the story, but the map is you get a new power up, you find the map, it starts flashing for you. That's where you can actually go use a power up that you either got and or have.
And see, this is the other side of the coin for me with Metroid Dread, and how I just can't say it's a good game and leave it, right? It feels so old and antiquated in certain ways, for better and for worse. And at a certain point, I just had to accept that this is an old style video game, and I need to play it like a retro game, as if this
play
game,
when I was a kid, Finn.
As if this game existed like 20 years ago. I just need to play it with that mindset, because the game just doesn't tell you anything, right? There's no health bars for bosses. There are no damage indicators. Right up to that final boss fight, I had no idea which of my attacks did the most damage. I was insistent though that I wasn't going to look at a guide and I was going to play this as if I was, again, 20 years back and this is just how games were. And it does feel at times like you're throwing your head against a wall, trying to figure out what the game is trying to tell you. Like you mentioned with the blue butterflies, like you mentioned with like the little puzzles to gain items, and especially with bosses, right? It just feels, and especially I think because of the recent trend of roguelikes and games that do away with game over screens and lives, seeing the game over screen made me so mad every time. Because I feel like the modern gaming trend is to ease the blow of losses and deaths to the point where it's clearly evident to you that failure is a gain and not a loss. You've gained something by dying, whether it's ability or just like some information. And that's also true in Metroid Dread. It's also true for games like this, because every time you do die, you do learn something. Piece by piece, you will figure out how to beat this dumb alligator boss, right? But it just feels so antiquated and so disheartening sometimes. And I'm just like, why is this a game that came out in 2021? I don't know if that's just me or if that... Because I think this game is going to be in the conversation for Game of the Year. I think it has to be.
Yeah.
I think it does so much right. But when I think about it in terms of the context of 2021 game, I don't know if I can rate it that highly because it's insistent on this sort of retro thinking, this antiquated thinking. I don't know. It's, again, two sides of a coin. It's like really, really genius and does stuff you don't see in games nowadays, but on the other end of it,
it's just a Metroid game.
Completely sheds the modern conveniences that a lot of people will be used to.
The thing is if you're looking closely at the game, it is telling you what to do. Like, there would be placement of enemies in a certain position that you've encountered earlier. Like, oh, I can use my missiles against this enemy, but they're behind or they're close to a breakable wall that's only breakable with missiles. Mm-hmm. So missiles kill this enemy. They're so close to that wall that the missile breaks that wall, and you're like, oh, I can use missiles on this wall. I should be attentive on looking for this kind of wall.
Mm-hmm. I think when you were just like platforming and exploring around, I think that was quite easy to grasp for me. Again, I can't speak to everyone. Like, you're just going to have to interpret the language of this game as you see fit. And so, like, some things might not be as clear to you as other things are, like, to me. I think it was every time you gain a power-up, it gives you, like, this little thing where you can't get out of the area without using the power-up in some way to learn how to use it. So that part of it was quite clear, and that's quite normal in my gaming experience. But I think especially with enemies and bosses, the fact that A, there's no health bar, B, there's no damage numbers, and C, like the flashing thing that indicates...
Do you really like the damn numbers popping out?
I really want numbers. Something? I need numbers.
Well, I said that. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, I know you need numbers. And I host another podcast with you.
The flashing that indicates that you've like damaged an enemy sometimes is very not visible, to the point where it's like I can be firing missiles at a guy for 30 seconds and like I have no idea if I'm damaging him or not. Will this part hurt him? Is this part armored for some reason? And I feel so good that I beat it. Maybe it's a thing where I don't like play Souls games as well, like games that are that kind of difficulty, that kind of grueling difficulty, but it definitely felt a lot of times like I cannot believe the game expects me to know how to do this. I don't know if you've gotten to them, John, yet, but there's a certain like mini boss where you fight two of a thing that you previously fought one of. Okay. And it's exactly doubly as hard. And you're just like, I have no idea how to multitask this right now. And again, you just get lucky. Like, most of the bosses, I felt like I achieved something, like I learned what the game was telling me and I beat it. With some other bosses, I was like, I just got lucky. I just survived. And that was it. And maybe that's what the game was trying to do. I don't know. But there's just so much to love and hate about this game. It's so divisive in my head. I don't know where to place it as a result. But there's just certain things as well, like that are objectively good, like the environments, beautiful, gorgeous game. All the environments are unique, distinct, in a way that makes me intrigued. And again, I don't know any Metroid lore, but it makes me want to dive into this lore a bit more. And speaking of which, this may not be news to anyone, but Samus Aran is the biggest badass in games I've ever seen.
Oh,
yeah.
Freaking
She's
badass.
So cool. And the fact that she has 2 lines the whole game. And one of them is in an alien language, and the other is, like, that's it. The rest of the time, she's silent, and it adds so much to the character. And, like, just the way she's animated and the way she carries herself is so intriguing to me, and it makes me want to go back and play every Metroid game, right? I want to play Super Metroid now. I want to play the Wii U one, whatever the hell that is.
Don't play Other M. Please don't play Other M.
That's what I heard. I was going to say the same thing. Don't play Other M.
But man, yeah. Like, I feel like I'm going to play this game again very, very soon, because I unlocked hard mode.
Yeah.
When you beat the main game, you unlock hard mode, and I think now that I have the knowledge of where the game is trying to trip me up, I feel like I could breeze through hard mode quicker than I actually did normal mode. Because I know what the challenge is this time.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm putting my foot in my mouth there. I have no idea.
We'll come back next month and find out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, is this going to be, like, John, I know you have a long way to go with this game. Is this something you're already considering for Game of the Year thinking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, like I'm excited. I got my list for Game of the Year. It is. Right now I know what my number 1 is. I've got 1, 2, 3. I would put this at 4 then. If I'm going to say it right now, yeah, I would put this at least my top 4. Mm-hmm. And I'll adjust everything from there. But yeah, it is a high contention for my Game of the Year.
Yeah. The game, by the way, runs better than I think a Switch game should. There was one random encounter with a boss where the game tanked. I have no idea why, because it wasn't a necessarily big boss. It was a boss I'd fought before one time. I have no idea if just like an update will solve that or whatever, but for 99.9% of the game ran so smoothly.
Just runs.
And it really lends itself well to fast platforming. But yeah, a game of just love and frustrations for me. I don't know where else to land once I've sat with it, once I've played through another playthrough, but I guess we'll have to see with that one. Another game series that has frustrations with me. I haven't played this game. This is Keith, so I'll let him take the lead on it. But Far Cry 6, Keith.
Oh boy.
Have you beaten this game? How far are you in?
I've beaten it.
All right.
I've given it the old story mode beatdown, as it were. Okay. It's another Far Cry game. Well, I'm not gonna, beat around the bush. It's a Far Cry game. If you played every Far Cry, any Far Cry 3 through 5, yes, it's nearly the same, except they've eliminated towers this time, so you don't have to go climbing a tower to unlock parts of the map. Mm-hmm. It's a good time. It's not
okay.
Was a Far Cry game? Was a traditional Far Cry game what you were expecting going in, or were you hoping for something more innovative?
I was. I can't say that I was going to hope for something, super innovative, but I went in expecting a Far Cry game. Mm-hmm. And generally, I find it like a pizza. Even when it's still pretty bad, it's okay. It's a pizza, man. I'm not going to turn down pizza.
That might be the best take on Far Cry I've ever heard. That sums it up so well in my head and explains why people play Far Cry.
So good.
Yeah, even when it's bad, it's good. I get it.
Yeah, that puts in perspective, because I know we've all heard the discourse of it's Metroid. It's a Metroid game. That's what you're getting, and it's great. Yeah. Oh, it's just a Far Cry game. I wanted more out of that, and I'm like, we're having the same conversation technically about 2 different games, but saying the words "it's just the same."
Yeah,
and one is being praised, and one is being put down, and then. Here you, Keith, with your pizza analogy, and I'm like, God damn, that is probably one of the greatest analogies I've ever heard in my life.
Because this is... Go ahead, sorry.
Why I'm saying that is, yes, they've added some new innovations to it, like they've removed towers, the gun customization, gone into more in-depth gun customization. You don't have to unlock skill trees and level up in order to unlock special abilities. You have most of them all from the start. It's just a matter of how do you want to play this as, without having to spec into a skill tree for that.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of it, and it seems Ubisoft has gone that route of Assassin's Creed with, Assassin's Creed has a skill tree, but you're able to like just kind of put whatever you want on your character and like do whatever you want with him. Is that correct?
Pretty much. The biggest thing that determines how you're playing is you.
Okay.
You can, I can put on a backpack Supremo and launch rockets everywhere, but even though I have that backpack that's launching rockets, doesn't mean I'm gonna be restricted from being stealthy. I can still be stealthy and do it.
Okay.
So if Far Cry is a pizza, Keith, what's the toppings? What keeps you coming back to Far Cry? What's the selling point? What is the hook that you can't get away from?
Honestly, I'm not gonna. It isn't much in the way of pizzas. Once you eat it, you're not gonna want to come back to a pizza for a little while.
Untrue.
That kind of thing.
I can eat pizza every single day. I shouldn't, but I will.
For me, a pizza's like a once a week kind of thing.
I have oven pizzas for dinner the past 3 nights.
Finn, you're in college. That doesn't count.
I know. That's just the lifestyle.
I remember being in college, and that's exactly what I had. That does not count.
That doesn't count.
I'll have a pizza tomorrow. I don't care. It's easy. It's got everything on it. It's got your whole food pyramid.
But for me, it has your basic pepperoni. You order your pizza, like, okay, I'm going to get me a 3-topping pizza. I'm going to get pepperoni. Okay. I'm going to get more pepperoni. And for fun, I'm going to have some bacon.
And so what is the pepperoni in this case?
What's this pepperoni? So you got to come back to the game, baby. I want to know now.
So your pepperoni is actually the changes they made to the combat. Okay. When playing Far Cry 3, 4, and 5, you kind of lean more towards that stealthiness. And the game heavily rewards you for that stealthiness. But this game also rewards you for going in loud. Like, you can go loud and not get overwhelmed, as it were. Normally, when you go in loud in Far Cry, they'll swarm you, they'll get you. Oh, not in this case. You can customize your gun to take out specific armor types faster. So I can put armor-piercing rounds in my gun and go through and tear through all their heavily armored people and be done with it. Bases are quick to take out, even with stealth. So going in loud, taking them out quickly, and getting it done.
That's something I struggle with in a lot of games, is especially games like Far Cry, where the selling point is usually you can take out this camp in any way that you want. You can go in stealthy, you could go in guns blazing, you could try and get some intel beforehand. And it always comes back to, for me, like, yeah, you can, but the game absolutely rewards you most for doing stealth. Whether that's the creator's intent or not. And so I always end up going into that pattern of playing. So were you genuinely through this playthrough, were you going in guns blazing, and was that viable to you? Was it fun?
I played mixed throughout my whole entire playthrough. For the start of it, I did go through stealthy, because that's what I default to in most of these kind of games. I do like to go that stealth build. But then I found myself with the increased cache of weapons that I was getting, and the certain combinations of weapons, Supremos, and pets that you can get, the amigos. I was going in loud. And then at the end of the game, I was shooting through walls and killing people instantly.
Excellent. Always what
that's fun.
It didn't matter what I was doing.
Yeah. More than any...
That sounds... Oh, go ahead.
I just want to talk about, like, if we're keeping going with the pizza analogy, right? For me, the pineapple is always the Ubisoft fatigue. And I feel it in Far Cry more than I feel it in any other Ubisoft game, is that clearing camps and going up towers and running around a map and clearing things for no real good reason is always what turns me off these games. Is that a problem that you've had before, Keith, with this genre, or is it something you like do naturally? Is it something that you feel is addressed at all in this type of game, or is it who's this game for? Is it for the people who play Ubisoft games, for lack of a better term? Or is it trying to bring in players that maybe have that Ubisoft fatigue and are sick of it?
Honestly, I don't think they're trying to bring in anybody who has experienced that Ubisoft fatigue. You're going to get it playing this game. Like I said, it's a Far Cry game. You're going to get fatigue going around the map, trying to do each encampment or whatever you feel like doing that time around. But it's eased by the fact that, I don't have to 100% worry about doing all that. Mm-hmm. Like, I can completely ignore all these things. Sure, the story campaign might ask me to take out a few anti-air cannons to progress the story. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I don't have to do these other ones.
Right.
It just makes fast travel easier for me.
Mm-hmm. So we talked about the pepperoni. We talked about the pineapple. Let's talk about the bacon. Giancarlo Esposito. Because that's the strength, right? That is the strength of Far Cry games. It sells itself on its villains. Giancarlo basically sold this game in a lot of ways. How was his performance? How was his character? What did it leave you with?
So, without spoiling anything, most of Giancarlo's appearances are between chapters, as it is.
Okay.
He appears after you go through, sometimes midway, actually usually most of the time midway, through a factions chapter. You'll somehow encounter Giancarlo Esposito's character. Mm-hmm. You'll learn a little bit more about what he's trying to do with his son Diego.
Interesting.
And you'll learn a little bit more about his motivations on why he's going so hard on this Viviro vaccine stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In terms of, would you rate him among for me, the scale is always Vaas. How would you rate him compared to iconic villains like Vaas?
He's just below Vaas.
Okay. All right. That's
interesting.
That's fair. That's really, really fair. That's a hard bar to clear, but yeah.
It's a very hard bar to clear, especially since we found out what the DLC and starring all the villains is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's basically a roguelike adventure. Mm-hmm. So you go as far as you can, killing with what you got. If you die, you upgrade your stuff and try killing again, but this time it's co-op.
Huh. Co-op? Aren't you playing as the villains?
We're playing as the villains, but so let's say I'm playing as Voss.
Yeah.
I'm going through his story, I'm dying, I'm having a hard time trying to get through his roguelike adventure.
Uh-huh.
I can invite a friend who can play as another villain.
Oh, okay. Shared universe trippy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That is very cool. So, Vaz and the cult guy from 5 can be rolling around having adventures.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But I don't think it's like a big open world map. I think it's very linear style.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're having trouble, invite a friend, they can play as a villain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, co-op
cool.
has always been...
I dig that.
I think since 4, co-op has always been a driver for Far Cry. Did you get a chance to play any co-op at all? Did anyone...
Oh, boy.
Oh.
That's where we come through the burnt crust.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. Brought it back, too. I like it. So good.
Yeah.
So, for a while, I was wanting to play co-op. I have a friend, Danny, who got the game on PS5 as well, just so we could play co-op together. Mm-hmm. I only got to experience it once with him, because he was further behind in the story with me. He has other things he's doing, playing, and schedules and conflicts. So I decided to try and do quick play, which they have these little missions that you can go through, do quick play. You're trying to carry some very radioactive material. You need to keep cold and get it through the map. Quick play doesn't work, or at the time did not work. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're planning on fixing it or if it's going to be patched or not, but I tried doing quick play and I sat there for an hour and nobody was on PS5.
Oh,
damn.
Oh, no.
PS4, PS5. No one was on. I was trying to play it. No one.
Yeah.
So I decided to help Danny in his in his world. Go clear some anti-aircraft things for him. Do some fun missions.
Mm-hmm.
Just poke around like you would in Grand Theft Auto Online or something.
Right.
Just do something. So I got us into a helicopter and started taking us to the anti-aircraft so we could dive bomb it. We get shot out of the air. I hop out. He glitches through the world and lands in the starting area.
Oh dear.
Literally the opening sequence starting area.
Damn.
He can't fast travel. Enemies aren't spawning. Cars aren't spawning. Anti-aircraft bases aren't spawning, the anti-aircraft cannons, because they're apparently considered enemies. Billboards aren't spawning because they're considered enemies. I can't fast travel to him. I'm like 90% of the way off the map. I can't get to him. And starting, resetting, trying to cancel out everything, reloading checkpoint does not fix it.
Man, it really does
straight into the abyss.
Get into a
straight
point.
Into the abyss.
It really does get to a point where you're like, yeah, Ubisoft games, you're paying a premium for what is essentially early access. The game will be finished a year after release, and it will be probably half price.
Yep.
And I made a tweet about it. I said, I regret buying the expanded pack for all the DLC. Because, one, the DLC isn't there yet. It's not going to come for, another 2-3 months, knowing Ubisoft?
Right.
I regret paying that price for it, but I think it's worth its $60 base price. The story, had me tear up at a little certain points here and there. I can't spoil it for anybody. I found the villain to be pretty good. Giancarlo brings his A game to it. Some of the heroes don't live up to that. I wish we had heroes in lines with the villains.
Yeah, Far Cry heroes are never even close to their villain counterparts. They're always so bland. Yeah.
I find it really awesome that you can choose between a male and female character who has voice lines this time around.
Oh, I thought it was only female. Okay.
No, it's male or female this time around. You can choose male Danny or female Danny.
Okay.
Nice. Always good to have options, for sure.
It just feels like they could put a lot more effort into the game instead of trying to sell it just on its villains alone. Sell it on the top tier personalities you want as heroes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird to say, but this feels like, at the end of the day, a game for the fans, right? Far Cry continues to sell well, and it's still catering to those people. I talk about games that I love from afar, love from a distance. Far Cry is a series I will continually scoff at from a distance. I will spit at from a good yard away. Because Far Cry 3, man, it didn't burn me, but it just didn't. It feels like it didn't do anything to keep my attention. And it feels like it's just continually been doing that. And it's fine for the people who can tolerate that. But for me, it's never appealed to me. And so it's actually quite refreshing to know that this continues to be a game I don't have to pay attention to. Like, again, I'm being quite harsh in this game having not played it. But it's very much a line in the sand. You either like it or you don't. And so it's good to have both perspectives, I think. But yeah. Far Cry
5 was my first Far Cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you at all interested in picking up 6?
From the villain alone, Esposito, yes. I like cults. I find them fascinating. And so when Far Cry 5 was released, I'm like, this is right up my alley. And I just was like, oh, this is not at all what I was anticipating. And it wasn't as compelling as I wanted it to be. So I never finished it.
Yeah.
Like, the great thing that I find that Far Cry 6 does about its villain is from time to time, like if you can at any time go anywhere on the map from the start. Like if you want to go back to the starting city and do quests there, you can. But going there, you'll start hearing propaganda playing. Giancarlo will come on the loudspeaker talking about the current events of the worlds and how he's trying to perfect the land with Viviro and lead everybody into a bright future. Like they're really selling that, that dictators.
Okay.
at some point in the game, like you take down one of his captains, which, you always do in a Far Cry game. You take down the big head honchos, leaders, to get closer to them. And in that area, messages that those leaders were making will be replaced by Giancarlo saying the rebels and the guerrillas have ruined yet another life and another path to the greatness that will be Yara and stuff like that. And dialogue changes as you go.
Huh.
Yeah.
I like that.
The settings of Far Cry always seem to be built around their respective villains. And it's what keeps me listening to Far Cry and its like marketing build up and trailers and stuff. Because it always does seem intriguing at the start. And a game without playing, I don't know if we can go too deep into this conversation, but I always like to read the discourse. I like to know like what the game says. And it seems to be a theme with Far Cry that it stops just short of the mark. It deals with, politics and, culture in a way that feels like it could say something very profound or, say anything at all, but it just decides not to for fear of messing it up, which is like respectable in some way if you want to like go that route, but it always feels disappointing to me as someone who wants them to say something just as an art form, But yeah, it seems like Far Cry 6 is continuing that trend where they almost get there, but not quite.
I'm like, I don't want to ruin anything. I really don't.
Yeah.
But the way you take him down is so upsetting.
Right.
Like, you're going through that high ramp-up mission, you're storming the final base, and you get to the end expecting some amazing boss fight. But they change
hand him a pizza.
Yeah.
The
pizza's burned.
You a pizza.
This thing is the crust is burnt.
That's an analogy that might come up every episode of Play Date from now on. It's too good.
Yeah,
it's too good.
I hope
to
it does. Oh my god, it's amazing.
Most games. You know what? It's called the Pizza Cast now. That's it. We're changing the name. Anything else we want to say about Far Cry 6 before we move on? Yeah.
Honestly, I feel that if you are a little bit iffy on picking it up, as always, wait for a sale. It's bound to go on some sort of 10%, 20% discount sale within, the coming year. You never know. And don't try and do it like I do and try and clear the whole entire map because I'm insane like that. Just play it as you go. Take it in chunks. Don't try and marathon it.
Right. Except that's how me and John are wired and why we struggled with Metroid Dread at the beginning.
Yes.
We must complete all zones before moving on to the next zone.
That's my issue.
Yeah.
I mean, if I haven't found the last bit of treasure.
Yeah.
I don't have that problem.
You have to eat a whole
that's
slice.
The weird part.
You have to eat a whole slice of pizza before moving on to the next bit. You can't just leave the crust there for later.
You can't leave. You people are monsters that leave the crust. I'm calling you out.
This is a game that I've been meaning to dive back into. John has bit the bullet with Death's Door, a game you initially put down, but I guess something called you back and you've beat it since.
Yes, I started it up. I was high on this game. I love Devolver Digital and every indie developer they partner with. So I was like, screw it, I'll try it. Why not? And it did not click with me at all when I first started this game. I was like, I don't understand. It's not it doesn't feel good. Combat doesn't feel good. Rolling doesn't feel good. Nothing felt good about the game. I loved the art style, loved the music. Nothing felt good, and I just bounced off of it, and that was it. I was never planning on going back to this game. And then all of a sudden, I just saw it in Twitter, just Death's Door. And I was like, it's been out for 4 months. What the hell? Why is everyone liking it? And finally, I just was like, screw it. Fine. I'll jump back into it. And I shit you not even 5 minutes in, everything clicked. 5 minutes into the game.
Did you pick it up from where you left off, or did you do a hard reset?
Yeah, I picked it up right where I left off. I did not go back to the beginning. I was only like an hour and a half, 2 hours in, and I was like, all right, I'm pretty sure I can put it all together. I didn't even beat the first boss, the first round. And I was like, all right, let me try, let me figure it out. And it was 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, I understand the game now. And I don't know. And Finn, you and I were talking. I don't know if they patched something. Rolling feels so much better. Dodging, all that stuff. The combat feels better. I really don't know how this game didn't sink its teeth into me when I first played it. And my biggest complaint was when I played it is I'm sort of, from playing a lot of Souls games, is I'm sort of used to having a like little invincibility when you roll if you time it just right. And when I was playing one of the mini bosses, no matter where I rolled, I would get hit like in mid roll.
Yeah.
To a point where it felt like it was canceling out my roll. I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to get the upper hand on this boss if I can't just do this. So that was kind of my biggest thing. Like, it's not clicking. And so when I went back, I didn't find that boss, but I found a different mini boss, and I just started rolling and just testing this out. And I was like, oh, I guess they fixed it, or I just sucked at the very beginning of that. And so, I mean, I went through, I think I powered through the whole game in about 4 days, which is insane to me because
rare for you from what I know.
Yeah, I don't power through games. I take my time. Also, I work a lot.
Yeah.
So
it's really impressive.
Yeah, I was like, the story of just, you're a crow and you're taking souls. You're pretty much a contract killer, and you're going to go grab the soul out of the world and bring it back. But there's this whole king of the doors who has been around for a while, and things are starting to go south because the balance of the afterlife and the real world isn't there. And Death himself, it's just all over the place, and things are just not lining up correctly. And you're a peppy little crow who's just like, you know what, I'll keep on doing my job. And you start stumbling upon all these little things that happen, and you start registering, oh, we're not doing any of this right, and we need to fix it. And that's pretty much the whole game. It is Zelda meets Bloodborne, Souls-like. The combat is absolutely brutal. Something John doesn't do is register that maybe he should go find I will call them like little caves to like level your person up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was a thing. So I had 3 hits, almost 75% through this game.
Right.
And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I feel like I'm missing something. And I went and found a guide, and I was like, oh shit, I can actually level my hits up. Oh, cool. I have 5 hits now.
So not only did you finish this game in 4 days, but you were playing on hard mode.
Yes.
Self-defined hard mode.
Self-defined hard mode. And I was like, all right, that's cool. But yeah, this game, it really, almost the exact opposite of what we were talking about when it came to Metroid Dread. It really does do a good job of like, all right, here's what you get. This is what you do. This is how you get out of it. And it was, everything that happened was great. There was Metroidvania style concepts. Excuse me while I get some tea. Metroidvania style concepts in there, because I'd have to actually go back to a different world.
That's an excellent mug, by the way. I've never seen that mug before.
You've never seen Phineas and Ferb?
I've seen Phineas and Ferb. That's why I like the mug. Yeah. I've just never seen you with that mug before.
Oh, that's great. So yeah, that's one of our favorite mugs. But yeah, this game's so freaking good. I didn't think I'd like it going back to it, and I very rarely go back to games if I don't just enjoy them. Because my first hour and a half, 2 hours, I was not enjoying the game, period.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, damn you, Twitter. And I was like, all right, fine, screw it. I see you guys. Let me give it a fair shot, especially since we have now to play games. I'm like, I might as well freaking do it. I started seeing people talk about Game of the Year. I'm like, God damn it. All right, fine. I'll go back in there, and it's absolutely fantastic. And why I want you to go back into it, Finn, is because I see so many parallels with Tunic. It's not even funny.
Right.
It's just like, oh my God, this is just Tunic. And which upset me when I first played the game, because I was like, shit, I'm not going to like Tunic. Because that demo is effing hard.
Yeah. Dude, I can't remember. I think it might not have been launch day, but I played it pretty damn close to launch Death's Door in my first go around. And I don't remember there being a big discussion over like patches and stuff afterwards. Like, to me, out of the gate, the combat, the movement all felt natural. It all felt really good to me. I don't know if there was that big a thing, because the studio who've done Death's Door, they previously did Titan Souls. So it was essentially that game just scale up from 2D and into an isometric 3D zone. So there wasn't a lot of change in that regard. I feel like the two games play very similarly when you boil it down. So the movement was fine to me. The combat was fine to me. And I was really liking all aspects of the game that I played. I loved not only the gameplay side of it, but I really loved, I think maybe apart from the like you need to play this discussion on Twitter, I think maybe what might have called you back to it is the sort of charm of like this morbid charm that it has all around it. Like, again, you're just playing as this cruel Reaper guy. You're going out harvesting souls, but it's still like lighthearted, and the discussion is very dark humor, you know?
So funny.
Yeah. Very, very
That's
charming.
The weirdest part. It is charming. Like, the writing is so spot on. Mm-hmm. And just how funny some of the characters actually are in this whole game. Like, just different. You meet a character who is literally a teapot head.
Yeah.
And just, you actually, he makes the comment of like, I'm very sorry that you probably can't understand me very well. I'm in a teapot. And it's so freaking self-aware of itself.
Sounds very British.
It is very British in tone.
It's very, very British.
Yeah.
And like the combat and the difficulty of it balanced with this weird, the dry British humor, which works. This like it works or it doesn't. And this one 100% works. And just the character designs of the bosses, because honestly, there's only 4 major bosses in the whole game. Everything else is very mini boss, and the puzzles not as hard as I would have anticipated, which is awesome to me because I like puzzle games. But sometimes you're like, all right, you're just intentionally making this hard.
Right.
I am like I said Metroid Dread was 4. This is probably 5 on my game of the year.
Oof, wow.
Yeah. It's coming. I think it just got announced to come out on the Switch. Like, it's coming Switch and PlayStation this week, or it was announced this week.
Yeah, it was in the State of Play. It's coming to PS5.
PS5. Okay.
I think I bought it on Steam. So yeah, I was on the opposite scale of you, John, where I put down this game while fully enjoying it. And I still haven't gone back to it. I have no idea why I haven't picked up this game yet. Probably because other things just took precedence over it. But like definitely Metroid Dread, I think were the two culprits, to be honest. Now that I'm done Metroid Dread, this is definitely like
get back in there.
To get back in there immediately. Because I was loving it. I was loving what I was playing. And I guess either like perception wise or if it's true that they've like upgraded the combat a little bit, patched the combat a little bit, even better. You know what I mean? Even better to go back into it. But yeah. Not too long from what I remember, right? It's supposed to be like 10-ish hours?
10? Yeah, 10, 12 hours.
Yeah, so super digestible and definitely something I want to talk about with you when it comes to whatever form Game of the Year takes for us, that discussion, whether it is just a discussion. But yeah, I definitely want to talk more about that game because I think there's a lot to love about it.
I have tweeted at the developer asking for a art book and a vinyl. I collect those and I just want those because like you're just sitting there looking at these characters and just the design, the art style is it works very well as the whole package. This is one of those games that like it from top to bottom, I think actually really works from sound design, music, art style, combat, controls, I'm with you, Finn. I don't remember them saying anything about a patch. I'm assuming it is. It clicked on that the next round, but everything, like I legitimately had a smile on my face. Did I die? Hell yeah, I died. I died a lot. And one or two of the bosses was just the timing. You had to get the timing down right because patterns. You got the patterns, and then all of a sudden, third form, completely whatever pattern you even thought you had is not even there because they change everything about the fight, and then you have to adapt to that real fast. And that I think that was what I really, really enjoyed about it because it was here it is. Learn it, understand it. You're good. Guess what? You're screwed. And something about that, I love that style of game, that style of like difficulty when it comes to games like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I was playing it, I was just like, John's going to love this. And it's why I was so like disheartened when you initially told me that I wasn't clicking with you. I was like, man,
No.
I'm sure he would love this game.
And that's what you were saying earlier. Like, it's a very digestible game, and I think Metroid Dread is one of those digestible games as well. Like, within that 10-hour range, people always complain, like, if I'm paying $60, upwards to $60 for a game, I want it to last for 40 hours.
I don't.
Yeah.
I feel so valued when a game doesn't take excess of my time.
Yes. Yeah. I'm one of those people who, yes, I play RPGs. I'm used to the anywhere from 40 to 100 hours of gameplay of stuff. But what people don't understand is I love games that can be, that'll take maybe 6 to 10 hours of my time, easily digestible, something that I can, if I want to at some point, come back to later and play through. And not have to worry about my backlog getting too big because I'm spending 100 hours somewhere else.
It helps for us as well because, again, the reason why we do this and the reason it's fun is because we don't just like playing games, we like discussing them, we like the discourse, the back and forth about it. So the more games you finish, the more you can talk about them, and it helps in that way. But like, no joke, quick confession, right before this podcast, when I beat Metroid Dread and the screen comes up saying your playtime, it was 9.5 hours for me. Standing ovation for me. No joke. I stood up and I applauded. I'm like, thank you, game, for being this short. It was
I like a well tight put together game that's 9, 10, 15 hours that gets you in, gets you understanding the game, lets you enjoy the story, and then gets you out and you can keep on going with your life. And I don't need to drag on games because I don't have time to live in the games, unfortunately. I'd love to have time, but I would rather give an enjoyable experience where I can still remember everything. And I think that's what gets me about like Death's Door and Metroid Dread and stuff like that. I can remember everything that has happened. And like, Finn, you jump back into Death's Door and you're like, hey, John, I'm at this boss. I'm like, okay, here's what you need to do. And I can get you back in through all that stuff. To me, there's value to that. A developer understanding that your time is, thank you for playing our game. We don't want to take too much time, but we want to make sure you enjoy your time.
Yeah. Cut out the fat, trim the fat, Just get to the meat. Get to the pepperoni.
Get to the pepperoni. Look, we got this pizza cooking. I need it out now.
Oh, it's cooking. Oh, boy. We're never getting away from that.
700-degree oven. Give me that pizza.
I was going to ask on the reference-wise, too. I'm more of a white sauce fan, not a red sauce fan, but I didn't know how we could actually relate that to games.
What is red sauce? Like the tomato base?
It's tomato base. Yeah, tomato base sauce. I'm
sauce?
More of a Alfredo base. Yeah.
No,
You've never had an Alfredo based pizza, have you?
No idea what you're talking about.
Change your goddamn life. I promise you.
I've had barbecue base, and that's
barbecue's fine.
That slaps.
Yeah. Get a white sauce pizza with chicken and bacon. And then if you have it at home, drizzle some hot sauce on.
You have a different mug.
Buffalo chick.
Yes, I do.
You took one sip of that other mug and now you're on a different mug. I'm sorry, that took me off guard. I'm not even going to question it.
I was testing that first one, and that is not my mug.
What, for poison?
This is my mug. What?
For poison?
Maybe. Look, my wife is home. I gotta test things.
I will take charge of the kingdom once he drinks the poison tea.
This one has splendor in it.
I will kill him as he podcasts about his video games. Yeah, that's how it sounds.
Show him. I am the Senate.
Get him. I am the Senate.
When this podcast gets released, it'll be fresh after Halloween, which is why I thought we better bring up some Back 4 Blood action. I've been playing a little bit of it. Haven't gotten all the way through it yet. One of those games where like I'm playing it with a group, and so you need to find a time to sit down with the group. Solidarity, no man left behind. We're playing through all of it together. No one's going ahead. So respect to my group for doing that. Nice. It's very hard. We're going through it very slow. But yeah, Back 4 Blood, man, as someone who got into Left 4 Dead 2 way too late and so didn't really get grabbed by it, really enjoying Back 4 Blood. I don't know if it's just the group I'm playing with this time. I don't know if it's the gameplay, but yeah, what I will say is the things that interest me about Back 4 Blood is the gun mechanics, right? I feel like If the gun mechanics don't get you, you're nowhere, right? And so I've played with a few different types of guns, but my bread and butter is you get two guns to choose from. You get like your rifle and your offhand, and so I go exclusively now shotgun and baseball bat, and that just feels great. I'll get to the baseball bat later, but the shotgun mechanics up there with the best first-person shotgun mechanics I've ever played in a video game. Especially when you get upgraded shotguns and they fire like no shotgun ever has in its life. Like you're basically firing a machine gun, but it's a shotgun. Like the rate of fire and the reload rate is insane. You just blast through zombies like it's nothing. It's so fun. The zombies as well. Like I don't know if I'm not familiar enough with the Left 4 Dead zombies to know if they're copy and paste, but they're definitely heavily inspired. I think there's a few unique ones. So like there's, I think what they're called in Left 4 Dead is the boomer, the one that explodes. There's one that like spits on you and locks you in place. There's one that I think is supposed to be the jockey, except it doesn't mount you. It just like knocks you away.
Is the witch in there? I remember the witch kind of freaking us out.
So what does the witch do in Left 4 Dead? I think I know what you're talking about, but
I think the witch just like, and not instant kills you, but hunts you. Like she doesn't move. All of a sudden you start hearing like the little girl crying and you're like, oh shit, it's the witch. And like if you can get her, like it's all four of you have to like really just lay down fire and to get her, or she's almost an instant kill for everyone else. It was just, I remember being creepy, like stumbling upon her. Like 9 times out of 10, we just didn't mess with her.
I think the closest thing I could say is that there is this character, I can't remember what it's called, or this zombie, this enemy that does, like, her role is to stand there, and you're supposed to be quiet around her, otherwise she will scream and alert the horde.
Yep.
And the scream is deafening. It's terrifying, and you just don't want to do it for that reason alone. Never mind the horde that comes after. But yeah, zombies are like nothing like too innovative. You can't really be innovative when it comes to zombies. Like it's well treaded ground at this point, but it was fun to shoot them, which is all the praise I can give, really.
That's all you need.
And I think the main hook of the gameplay, and I don't think this was a thing in Left 4 Dead, is the card system. So you start a run through and you go through all the various acts, all the various missions. And every time you are in between missions, you get to choose from a card from a deck of cards from like options, and these will give you upgrades, they'll give you different things to choose from. And when you're outside missions, you get to like use points you gained through completing missions to buy cards. You build your own deck of like ones like these are all the cards I want to be able to choose from, and then in between missions you slowly build up your upgrades and you get stronger and stronger and stronger. And because you build your own decks, it lets you cater to your own playstyle. And so I find it very useful where I would go in with the bat a lot of the time when I was low on ammo in the shotgun. And there's an ability in the game that lets you, every time you kill someone with a bat, you get a little bit of health. And I love lifesteal abilities in games. So I would constantly build up health. And there was another one that allowed me to do like faster melee kills and like stronger melee kills, so I was just going in there swinging at people. It was so fun. And then when I switched back to the shotgun, there was another ability that let me, every time a pellet of the shotgun hit a zombie, I'd gain a little bit of like temporary health. And so everyone else was standing back, I was up close and personal. I was running directly into the horde, gathering them all around me, and it was just so fun to do.
The swing of the man.
Yeah. But that was only like, that was just the play style that I've explored so far. I've known like my counterparts are doing like completely different things. And it's sort of roguelike mechanics, just like the roguelike systems, but like it's always a trade-off system. You're sacrificing one thing in a card to get a really strong upgrade. And on top of that, there's also cards for the makeup of levels. So there'll be cards that means like, oh, a boss will appear in this level, and a like flock of birds, like if you disturb them, a horde will appear here, or like you can't use this type of weapon. And so they're all like randomly based as you go through each run, which makes like replaying levels super replayable because there's a little bit of variety in there each time, which makes, again, going through runs. Because the campaign is quite short. Again, I haven't gotten through it yet because I'm just trying to get through it with people. but
sure,
I'm glad that there's that replayability aspect there. And it's super fun. Something I want to get back into. The one part I would say that doesn't hit at all and has never hit for me is like the story, the characters. I don't care. And
shut up.
You're walking through missions and they're telling their backstory and they're trying to be super heartfelt. It's like, I don't care. I'm not even listening to you. There's a zombie on my back. I don't care.
Buddy, this is a zombie survival game. Yeah. You ain't surviving. I don't care.
I'm sure it's there for some people that enjoy that. I've just never, ever cared about that stuff before.
When it comes to playing with friends and all that stuff, do you feel like it would be beneficial to each one to have your own play style, or in the sense of like you're growing up being a brawler, you got someone staying back, maybe more sniper styles and all that stuff, or would it be like, since it has that card system, it's cool if all of you were just like, screw it, we're following Finn with giant bats and just all four of us is running into it? Or like, do you think that would be a beneficial thing to have, or is it does it kind of lead toward the quote unquote hero style where each one plays a little bit differently depending on your play style of how you want to attack the horde? Because at the end of the day, you're just shooting zombies.
So on recruit difficulty, which I believe is the standard difficulty, I think there's 4 difficulty levels. On recruit difficulty that we've been playing on is pretty brain dead. There are some hard sections, like some really grueling sections. But for 70% of a level, it's just turn off the brain.
Guns ablaze and go.
For the next difficulty up, and certainly the highest difficulty, I would imagine you would need to think about composition, to think about who's fulfilling what role. And again, like, I would be in there, like, attracting the horde, but there would need to be someone else cleaning up my messes. Half the fun, like, because again, we're playing in normal difficulty, half the fun is just, like, causing chaos for the rest of your team, like running into a building and knowing that you're going to get surrounded and just screaming at them to help you. Like, that's half the fun of it for me.
Yeah.
Just causing that havoc.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
It's like I play, multiplayer games with friends and I'll be like, I'm taking up the shittiest weapon I can. Come on, everybody. Shitty weapon run. Let's go.
Yeah. There is some of that. Again, you'll need to be on the same wavelength as you're doing the harder difficulties, but there is some animosity there. Like, throughout the level, you pick up coins. They're called copper in this game. They're just like coins, and you use the coins they don't affect you in the long term, but they help you buy upgrades in between missions and stuff. And it is always a race to gather the coins, because only one person could get them. And so
does
some
share
person will be dying over there.
No.
And you'll be racing the coins. And there is a card, which every one of us picked up, that allows you to basically smell coins if you're close enough. And so it's just us going through a mission. Where are they?
I gotta find it. I gotta
find the coins. Give them to me.
And a lot of the coins you'll find like in cars, like they're hard to see, but once you have this like coin ability, you basically X-ray through and you can see them. And about 50% of cars, when you break the window, the car alarm goes off, attracting the horde. You just don't care. You're like, it's for the coins.
I want this coin.
Smash and grab, go.
And so definitely that is a way to play it. If you're not like try-harding, if you just want to cause animosity between you and a group of friends, like, don't feel like you have to play super serious. You can absolutely go and be the chaotic one if your friends are like okay with that.
That's freaking awesome.
I don't know if the asymmetric multiplayer mode, where I haven't explored that yet, where people are playing as zombies and stuff. I know that's for a lot of people, that is the hook for Left 4 Dead and things like that. I haven't been able to try that yet. We were just going through the campaigns as it stands, so I can't really speak to that. But for me, asymmetric multiplayer never really hits. From what I've seen, there's always
it always ends up people being like, oh, I only want to play the villain. Mm-hmm. If I don't get the villain, I'm not playing.
Right. For sure.
I'm pretty excited for one asymmetric game that was announced, and I'm just going to sit here and wait on it, is the Ghostbusters one.
Oh, yeah.
The presumed Ghostbusters. The presumed Ghostbusters, because it's by the guys who did Left 4 Dead, not Left 4 Dead, but shit. What just came out? Predator Hunting Grounds.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And the president was like, yeah, we got Ghostbusters. We're like, was that supposed to be announced? So I have hope that is going to be fun, but I will wait and see.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, just mindless fun.
Sure.
I can attest to that at the very least. Oh, by the way, like I've never had a mission in Left 4 Dead that was like memorable at all to me that I've thought about.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the missions in this game so far, and maybe just because it's fresh in my mind, but it's memorable. Like there's one where the goal is to storm into this bar and you have to distract the horde while they evacuate the city, and like you have to like hold the bar for a certain time and attract all the horde there, otherwise they'll go out and kill all the civilians. And so you do that by blasting the jukebox, and the jukebox has one of the best insert songs I've ever heard in a video game. Like it's not licensed music, it's original for the game, but it sounds like Joan Jett's version of Wild Thing. And it was the hypest shit I'd ever experienced. It was so awesome. Cool. And yeah, your whole goal is like the zombies will come in and they'll like batter a jukebox until it turns off, and you just have to keep the music playing the whole time to attract the zombies there. And it's so fun and so memorable. I was like, that's good game design. That's rare for this type of games. But yeah, shout outs to that mission. And yeah, just a fun time.
That mission is not John Mulaney playing What's New Pussycat 21 times?
No, it's not. For real though, like a testament to Game Pass as well, I will say before we move on. Because like, again, games like this, you want to be there on day one with people, and it was so easy to convince people to jump in with me since they already had it, since they had Game Pass. So shout outs to that. John, you've only dipped your toe into this one because it's recently out.
Yes.
But tell me about what you've experienced so far of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
It is so much different than Marvel's Avengers, because I've played Marvel's Avengers too.
And you liked it.
And,
or you have.
I think it's great. I freaking love it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's like you said, turn mine off, let it become Hulk and smash things. Yeah. That's the fun part about Marvel's Avengers. But Guardians of the Galaxy is a little bit different. Like if we saw the trailers and it was like, is this like more of a Telltale game? Like what's going on with this? And it's pretty much a 2-question Telltale game with action. And I don't know how they did it, but they did it. It is great. Like I'm only 2-ish hours in. I was able to get a little time with it this week. And like, I like the character designs. I like that I'm not looking at Star-Lord and going, that's not Chris Pratt. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the biggest crux against the Avengers game, is because it's like, you missed it by like that much to look like Chris Evans. And I think Eidos Montreal was like, oh no, we need to make sure like they just don't look like them and we can separate that out. And so like the design of the characters is great. The combat is a little wonky. I'll be absolutely honest with you. Mainly because you only play as Star-Lord. You're only Peter Quill. And so when things start, you actually go into combat, he will look down at the sights, but he has his 2 blasters. And then when you start running or you're trying to get away, but you're still holding like the aim, he actually turns around and starts like kind of shooting behind him. But you can still kind of aim, like, Peter would probably like, oh shit, I'm in too deep, and so I'm just gonna run away but still shoot. And it has that like that comedic concept of him just running away but still shooting. So I was like, that's a little bit different than I was anticipating, because he's Star-Lord, but it's still, the Guardians are still fairly new, because in the game, in the very beginning, you find out that it's Drax and Gamora had recently just joined the team. Like it's Groot, Rocket, and Peter have been together for a little bit, but the other 2 have just joined in. And so you're on like this mission to just steal some shit. And it works. The comedy, it works with these 2. Like, you don't think about, it's not the MCU. It's just, oh yeah, these are these characters that I know. It's a different take on them, and it's great. I love the music. I think it's weird that the if you stream it, you have a streamer mode on, but it has a streamer mode like watermark at the very top through the whole damn thing.
Really? Oh, that's disgusting.
It's awful. Thankfully I was like, I'm never streaming this game, because I didn't know what kind of copyright there would be. But yeah, I found out that if you turn on streamer mode, you've got streamer mode at the very top right there through the whole damn thing.
That's stupid.
Yeah, 100% stupid. Look, it's the MCU, or not the MCU. It's the Marvel Games unit, I guess is what I'll call it right now. And I like it. I think it's fun. it's interesting how they set up where you can have the other teammates actually help you out. Like they'll do their thing, but if you want them specifically to do something, each one of them is like, it's the composition. Like I was asking about Back 4 Blood. Groot is your guy who, if you need him to like, you got multiple enemies and you need to lock them and keep them from moving, Groot will actually throw out his vines and lock all of them down. Gamora gets in. She can do one quick, really deadly hit, but that hit takes out half the health of an enemy. Drax can take on an entire fleet of people. Like, just let Drax go. Literally, just let Drax go, and he'll take on everyone. And Rocket is your explosive and gun expert. So it's really interesting to like do the whole thing of like you're shooting, you're Peter, and you're kind of taking on a swarm, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, I'm getting overwhelmed. And you tell Groot to lock everyone down. You tell Drax to kill everyone. Gamora's on the back end waiting for another, like she's fighting someone, and then you can just let her go. The funniest thing though, I really, really like this because they're really turning into that comic 80s nostalgia music concept. Is they have the Guardian huddle, and it's where like let's say all the Guardians are down and Peter's like low on health. He'll actually hold up his Walkman and goes, Guardians, like huddle up. And it's literally, I don't think Rose is going to hear me say this. It is literally like Danganronpa for a second, where you have to like judge how each one of your characters, each one of your teammates are feeling. And you see things pop up like little like words, and you have to give the speech to get them back in the game. Wow. So it's either they come back and you have health and damage boost, they come back with no boost, or they come back with, like just a damage boost or something like that. There's something that like, there's three ways. Like you're always going to get back in the game, but it depends on, as Peter, how you like talk to your team, what they will actually do. And it literally like everyone blanks out. It looks like you're on a stage. Everyone's right in front of you and like, all right, Guardians, we got to do, I know you're scared, but you know what? You got to laugh in the face of danger. So let's not go get insane. And everyone's like, and they just charge back into the fight. And it is one of the strangest and coolest mechanics I've ever seen, where they're like, we know what the Guardians of the Galaxy is supposed to be like. Let's just throw that in there.
John, I want to intentionally feel one of those speeches. I want to give a comically bad speech. I want to see what he does when he just absolutely flunks it.
It's so funny too, because like you can tell. Like, I like that it doesn't show you the whole, Rocket will remember that or something like that. Like, you're just trying to figure out and be a good leader. And it's not just with the Guardians. Like, I'm right now, I'm at a point where I've been captured and I'm with the Nova Corps. And I'm walking around with a Nova Corps person and I'm talking with him and we're just shooting the shit. And I'm like, I don't know what this has to do with anything, but I have to answer your questions. So it's go ahead.
It sounds like what I was very hopeful of when this game was first shown, where it seems like it benefits wildly compared to Avengers, where instead of focusing on multiple playable characters in a team, it is focused on one being Star-Lord and bringing in everyone as an extension of him and playing the leader role mostly and focusing on this one role. And like even when you said little like character things in the animations and stuff, like you noticed like that's true to Star-Lord's character. I feel like you get that from, focusing on like a smaller scope. And that's why I think, Eidos Montreal's take is not necessarily a better one, because I still think there's value to Marvel's Avengers, but definitely one that appeals more to me in my single player gaming mindset. Feels more focused, more grounded. But yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It is very focused, and that's what I've really enjoyed about it so far. Is like, it's not over. It is over the top. Don't get me wrong. It is very over the top. They are not pulling punches, I guess, in the sense of like, Rocket even made a comment to Peter like, "Wait, you slept with her?" And it's so it like the comedy is actually there, but it's nice that all right, I don't have to learn a new fighting style because I'm going to become Groot later on in the game. It's I'm Peter. I need to level up Peter, and then the team just follows with that. And so it is very focused in that concept, and that's something like I'm very sad I haven't actually not got to play more of this game, because I actually laughed out loud when the huddle up happened, the Guardian huddle happened, and I was just like, I cannot believe I'm doing this in game, and this is one of the coolest things I've ever done in game.
So if you think of this game as a burger, right? The meat is the combat, right?
and look, yeah.
And the cheese is the. Have you had to make any, like, you described this as a Telltale game? Have you had to make any meaningful decisions yet, other than like
no
Guardian Hollow things? Just like it's all banter at this point.
It's all banter, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the first mission, you're with Groot and Rocket, and you're like, man, and you hear Rocket's like, man, these are the good old days. This is how we used to be. Mm-hmm. And I before the other two showed up, and as Peter, you're like, do you let Rocket keep on going with just venting, or do you go, Rocket, come on now, they're valuable people. Like they're gonna help us out. We need to do that. And it's been stuff like that. It's not like full Telltale in the sense of like I feel like my choices make a difference. Mm-hmm. I think it just kind of
creates illusion,
helps with like dialogue, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if what I'm saying like upset Rocket when I said no. We have two other teammates. It doesn't give me any hint on that one, so I'll be interested to see how that actually like plays out down the road, if what I've said actually makes a full difference with my team composition.
Yeah, and that's something that I want to know more as you continue to play, because the banter is key, and it seems like they're nailing it from what you've played so far. I just wonder how that stays,
will it run thin?
How that goes over the course of a full playthrough. I'm worried about that, but hey.
I don't know how long this game actually is.
It would look like a game that's around 15-20 hours to me, but I don't know. Maybe more like if you're trying to 100% it, complete it, completionist mode. But yeah, it seems like just a solid 20-hour single player narrative experience with the Guardians.
17 and a half.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Again, not overstaying its welcome, it sounds like. Again, you'd have to play it to know, but yeah, that's doable for sure.
So far, love it. I think it's great. I'll let you. I'll check back with everyone.
We'll quickly go to talk about Bloodborne, Keith, because you've been dipping your toe back into that one. What called you back to this dark world?
Honestly, what called me back is I was browsing through my trophies and comparing them to my friends. And I saw that one of my friends had the platinum for it, and I was like 20 trophies off or something like that, or 19 trophies off of it. I'm like, hey, you want to help me get the platinum in Bloodborne? So we decided to start a new game, and I'm sitting here like, well, and the only reason why I'm starting a new game is because I played it on PS4. I have the disc sitting back there, but oh no, my saves didn't carry over.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get the saves to work. I'm like, well, crap. All right. Well, we'll start a new game. And I'm sitting here like, what? I don't know what to play or anything like that. It's been forever. And for somehow playing by myself, and I don't remember how I did it. Like I was already past Rom the Vacuums.
Oh God. All right.
Because like I was already past Rom. I had already defeated Castle Keenhurst by myself. And going through playing it with friends, I'm like, why am I so bad at this game? How did I get this far? How did I get this far by myself? Holy crap. It's either I am God at this game, or I am just bad at this game and brute force my way through everything.
That was me. Second part was me.
And I'm like, well, let me see about how I want to build in the future. And I'm sitting there like, oh, the burial blade looks great, but it's New Game Plus only. Oh, wait. Oh, it's not only New Game Plus. So, John, you're familiar with Chalice Dungeons?
Yes, I am.
So after you beat the first Chalice and you get the root Chalice for it, you can actually glitch the game and get New Game Plus weapons.
I did not know this, actually.
Yeah, so people have figured out if you put in certain code combinations, you can basically go into what is called false root chalices.
Filth.
Which
you're filthy.
How dare you glitch the game?
Oh, I am filthy. And I also found a dungeon or a chalice that has a very, very wrong and suspicious name for it. It is CU 3M's FPK.
Right.
And you go in there.
Yep.
You go in there. You look to your left. An enemy dies, and you get 80,000 blood echoes.
The pizza's contaminated. This is filthy. It's toxic pizza.
Like you don't want to know how you get the sausage when it comes to Bloodborne. Jesus Christ.
It's bad sausage.
That visceral will stick with you.
So that's why if you see me sometimes tweeting, because I have technically lost a bet, sometimes see me tweeting that I am a min-maxing glitch exploiting.
I was wondering about that.
That's a well-earned reputation you've cultivated for yourself.
Yes. I was like, I saw that tweet. I'm like, what in God's name is he talking about? And then now that makes sense.
Yeah. Man.
And so I've been using that to get myself powered up a bit, to play with my friends who are on like New Game Plus 7 and stuff like that, without them being horribly nerfed.
Mm-hmm. I joke, but like you did lose your save. Like you're just trying to get the platinum. You got to do what you got to do.
Just get it. I get that. Yeah.
I lost my save. I was so close to the end apparently, and I lost my save. So I was like, you know what? I hate that. I've had that happen in several games beforehand. And it's like, I don't want to, I put down the game forever. It's like, no, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to go through 40 hours of work again just to get back where I was.
I have a curse with Rockstar games. I have not finished Red Dead Redemption 1, Red Dead Redemption 2, or GTA 5's campaign because all of the saves got corrupted halfway through.
Oh, God.
I have a Rockstar curse.
Jesus.
So I know how you feel. For anyone who's played Red Dead, got to Mexico, save corrupted.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Sucks. So I know how you feel. I know the burn, the agony.
And I'm glad nowadays that we have like cloud saving. That's why one of the reasons why I pay for PS Plus is the cloud saving. Sadly, it didn't work for me this time, but before I was enabling cloud saves on Steam, I had lost saves for another game that was an RPG I was 40 hours in and had most of the achievements for, and then oopsie poopsie, my laptop dies and I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, that's the danger of playing the games that you play, where it's like, if I get through a chapter of Persona 5 and that game breaks, I'm never playing Persona 5 again. I'm just never. It will be a protest. I'm deleting this game. Uninstall. But yeah, that's the danger when you're dealing with hundreds of hour-long RPGs, man. It's just,
But we haven't played recently in the past week or two, but I'll usually hop in every now and again and say, hey, you want to help me get further up the ladder into clearing this area? And I've been trying the DLC on my own since Danny, a friend of mine, bought it for me. And I'm getting to Ludwig and he's bashing my butt in. I can only get to phase 2 and then he starts cheating.
Ludwig sucks. Ludwig really sucks. I actually think I had 2 people help me with Ludwig, if I remember correctly.
The thing is I'm going at it with only like a +3 weapon because I haven't gotten too much further in the main story to get, all the shards to upgrade my weapons, and I don't have good gems to slot into my weapon, so it's like I'm doing like 2 damage to him while he's dealing all my health.
Yeah, I feel your pain on that one, Ludwig. That was probably the one fight that I got to, and I'm like, I hate this game right now. And Bloodborne is actually probably my favorite game of all time, but Ludwig was the one that was like, I truly hate this game. And then it was the clock tower fight with Lady Maria that made me love that game. God, that was that is still probably my most favorite boss fight, period.
My thing is I love Bloodborne. It's great. It's a great game. I love the horror aesthetic. I love the eldritch of it. I'm a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft, eldritch horror, wacky woohoo black magic bullshit. But I hate the multiplayer system for it. I hate having to be within a bee's butthole of a person in an area just to ring a bell and they don't appear.
Is that 2? Is that so? We got pizza, and now we have bees' buttholes.
Bees' buttholes being locked in a vault, and we're never bringing it back to this podcast. Never again. But yeah, do you see this as like a warning, John, or are you chomping at the bit for the inevitable Bloodborne PC release.
Oh, I'm chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
I know this will come out after, but we're going to talk about that. I have a thing that we're going to talk about.
Okay.
So I am chomping at the bit when it comes to the inevitable. I'm with you. Inevitable PC port of Bloodborne.
It's so close. It's like a bee's butthole away. You know what I mean?
Look, it's so close, and I can't wait to see all the Thomas the Tank Engine mods coming.
Oh god,
yeah, the modding scene for that's going to go up. Is
Yep.
Elden Ring coming out on PC with consoles at the same time?
Yes, I think it is. And that's what has me worried about Elden Ring and its multiplayer, is I don't want it to have that same system where I have to be in a specific zone for my friends to go with me, and once I beat that zone, they can't come back to that zone with me if I want to farm. Or they can meet me up at the fog door and we can kill the boss together, but as soon as we kill the boss together, they gotta go.
They're gone.
Why can't they stay and we just goof around a bit or something? I want multiplayer.
Do you think Bloodborne Soulsborne games are supposed to be fun with your friends romping through a magical forest? No, it's pain. It is suffering.
And you get your friends suffering together.
You get your friends with you. You get to kill a boss, and guess what? You're back to being alone, because that's what it's all about. You find it deep within yourself. Find that fire. That's what Souls is all about.
You know what Souls is about? Is going through old Garnham while a guy with a minigun shooting at two of your friends, and then you go up the ladder and punt him off.
Oh god, it's so much fun. It is so much fun.
To bring it full circle. Go ahead, Keith.
It's like I like multiplayer for the stupid shenanigans you can get up to with it.
Right. I just want those stupid shenanigans to be easy and not like a whole thing. But
not a whole ordeal of getting in anyway.
Yeah.
Once you're in, it's fine.
Yeah. To bring it full circle, just like I'm drawing comparisons of Metroid Dread in my head to what's going to be my experience with Elden Ring, because I've mentioned this to people who've played Souls before, is that Elden Ring is going to be my first true Souls-like games. And they've screamed at me to not do that.
Oh, do it. I'll do it. I don't care.
Well, they want me to play through all of Dark Souls and Demon Souls and Bloodborne before.
No.
But
no.
I imagine it's going to be a thing where I'm slamming my head against the wall because I don't know the language of these games.
You know what the language is? Pain.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can get behind that.
Learn pain. Understand that pain is a teaching tool. Pain is weakness leaving the body. That is what Soulsborne games are like.
Yeah.
Pain is just leading me to exploit the game further.
Pain is a bit we can all learn to, All right, so this is the part of the show where we take a quick break to play a little game right here in the show. This one's going to be interesting. I've called this one Codenames. So,
all right.
Over the course of video game history, there's been a lot of consoles and systems that during their development have adopted certain code names, right? Famous ones, maybe some not so famous ones out there. So the point of this game is I want to basically sort of test your knowledge and also just have a bit of fun with it. So in this game, we're going to be taking on the roles of secret agents, right? We will go through this list, which you can now go into, but don't go into the Notion pages yet. You will choose one of these code names as your secret agent name, and that you'll want to choose one that maybe you know, but you'll not want the other two to know, because the goal of this game is we're each going to have two questions, and we're going to ask the other contestants questions to determine their true identities. What is the real console behind the code name, right? What is our true secret agent identities? The catch is we have to really sink into the role here, because you can't just ask oh, were you made by Nintendo? You have to phrase it like a secret agent would, who are you working for? What's your gimmick?
All right.
So, go through the list that Rose has kindly prepared. I'll be playing this game as well. I don't know half of these ones. Try to choose
Rose didn't put this together?
Yeah, I had Rose help me put this together, so I don't know. I don't know who a lot of these code names are.
Okay. All right. I was wait. This...
Yeah, mark yourself down.
I know.
I
know that one.
Yeah, a lot of these.
And we can jump in and look, right?
You can jump in and look once you've chosen it.
Once you've chosen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I already know this one, so I'm going to shoot this.
Right. I'm going to I'm going to choose Atlantis. Does anyone immediately know what Atlantis is?
No.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Feel free to ask that. So,
do you know what Atlantis is?
So I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out right now. Oh, okay.
All right. Does anybody immediately know what Jupiter is?
I have an idea, but I don't know what it is.
I have an idea, but I cannot actually 100% say yes. All right. Know what that is. You
can choose one that you know what it is, as long as we don't know it.
Okay. I'm going to assume you guys know what Citra is, yes?
I don't know what Citra is.
Okay.
Keith does.
Yeah, I figured as much.
See
how about Project Natal?
Nope.
I think I know what Project Natal is.
Okay. Open it up.
Yeah, I'll go with it.
All right. So yeah, welcome agents. The way this is going to work is, so like we each have 2 questions, like count that as your like ammunition questions. So I can either ask John 2 questions straight up if I really want to know what he's doing, or I can ask each of you 1 question.
Okay.
So I get to determine how my questions are used. So I'll go first, and then we'll just go around the loop, and then we'll do reverse order if we want to do another round. So
okay,
I'll start with John first of all.
Okay.
Project
Hello.
Mr. Agent Natal.
Hi, I'm Project Natal. How can I help you?
What would you say is your main objective?
To see.
To see. Okay. I like it. Yeah, I should have mentioned as well. I wrote in notes, but I haven't explained that you should give relevant answers to the questions, but you can mask it in a secret agent style way.
Mask it away.
To try and retain your identity. So yeah, your main objective is to see. Okay. John, use one of your questions.
All right. You know what? Jupiter. Hello. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine.
Oh, I'm fine.
Oh, I'm fine. I'd be fine.
Mm-hmm. That didn't count as one of your questions, did it?
No, it does not. God, that would suck. Like, I'm out. See you guys. Oh, God. Damn, that objective is really, really good, Finn. Shit. Let's see. Let me do it this way. I'm gonna narrow it down real fast on one. Your code name is Jupiter. Are you related to planets somehow?
Oh. He's trying to narrow it down right now.
I'm trying to narrow it down hard.
If you don't know enough about your like actual identity, feel free to Google some information. But yeah, you should know this one.
You could say I'm more related to the goddesses.
Interesting. Well, interesting way to go about it. All right.
Okay. All right.
Keith, fire away. Your turn.
This is hard. I don't know who to start with.
It is hard. I haven't been asked the question yet, so depends if you want to kneel down John or go after me.
You know what? I think I'll go after you, Project Atlantis.
Okay.
Or Codename Atlantis.
Okay.
I'm not good at thinking of spy-like questions. It's very difficult for me. It's like I've never done that espionage before.
We're supposed to be incognito. We're supposed to be trained spies. You were trained by like the Soviets or something, I guess.
I was not trained by anyone. I was trained as the guard dog.
You haven't been given your activation key yet.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We've already done what is your primary objective.
No one's been asked who they're working for yet. You can go with that.
Was your mission a success?
Ooh.
I was not as successful as my predecessors, but I did the job I was set out to do.
That was actually a good question. That was very, very good.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll loop around again. We'll just do a loop around. Okay.
The goddess thing has to be thrown off. I'm trying to figure out. You think you got that one?
I've got him, so I'm gonna go after. I think new Agent Natal.
Okay.
Let me see. Are you wired into the network? Or are you a remote agent?
One could say I should be wired into the network, yes.
Okay. Alright, okay. I feel like I've got a good idea what both of you are, but yeah, it's John's turn. Ask away. Fire away.
Atlantis. Are you based in Japan?
Yes. My operation is based out of Japan.
Okay.
A lot of operations are these days, so I don't know if that helped
I had 3 in my head, and I have it narrowed down. Actually, I think I know which one you are. If I look at all the other ones, I think I know which one you are. I have an idea.
I think I should have been more generous in my first answer, but yeah, work away. Keith, you have the last bullet to fire today, sir. At least with this round.
All right, Project Natal.
Yes.
Are you in motion?
I'm going to ask I'm going to ask you a question in the sense like, do I move? Then no, I do not move.
That's set me off. Okay.
It's more or less, are you based in motion?
Oh, based in motion?
Yes.
I can. And yes, I do. I am based in motion, yes.
Okay. All right, okay. So, I guess we'll start with me. We'll just go through the order again. So, like, you two, any ideas on who Atlantis is? The real identity?
My first gut actually went to the Sega Dreamcast.
Okay.
As much as I love looking at project names and stuff like that for a lot of stuff, I am not too sure on what Atlantis is.
I am the Game Boy Advance.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Atlantis
was a hard one because I was not as successful as my predecessors, but I did the job and I was based out of Japan.
You did the job, so that was.
Y'all didn't get enough information there.
No.
Keith, I have a pretty good idea of what John is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, okay, we're narrowed down that he's a VR headset of some kind, right?
A little bit older than that. I want to take a hard, like, off the line guess that he is based on the Kinect.
Oh, yeah, that's why you're going for... Okay. For me, I was thinking he is... It's one of 3, but I'm going to go with that he is the Steam Index, the Valve Index.
Okay.
And Keith thinks you're the Kinect.
Do you think I'm the Kinect?
Yes.
I'm the Kinect.
Damn.
Yeah, Project Natal was the Kinect.
Headset.
Yep.
I
was hoping, like, when Keith asked if I moved, I was like, when you said dang, I was like, oh, I bet you think I'm a VR headset, and I thought or even like I was the Move controllers or something like that.
Yeah, when you said I totally didn't think of it the other way of the Kinect. So yeah.
Yeah.
So, John, like, we think Keith is like a Sega system, right?
Yes.
We think he's the Saturn.
I think he's the Saturn, but I'm trying to, like...
He threw you off because he was talking about... Yeah. You were going on with planets, but Saturn is a god as well.
Saturn's a goddess, yes.
Right. So
I think he is Saturn.
Yeah, and
I'm trying to think if there's anything else, because... God, like, I wouldn't think Nomad. I don't think the second Nomad would be.
All right, if you want to say Saturn, I'll go Genesis.
Is Genesis a goddess?
Well, Genesis is biblical, right?
The biblical, yeah, that's true. I'll go Saturn. I got Saturn.
All right, so I don't know how to preface this or if it's correct or wrong on anything, but it is a precursor to the Saturn. It is an unreleased. They didn't have any prototypes. It's basically just a concept. was able to do 32-bit cartridges and CDs. And its not predecessor, but its successor was Project Neptune, which then became
the Saturn.
Yeah. Very close enough.
And when I joked that I was based with the goddesses, I was giving a hint that there was a game made after the game consoles called Project Neptunia.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do remember that one.
That was a good warm up. Should we go for another round?
Sure. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Let's select another. Okay, so does anyone know Stella?
Stella! No.
Oh.
Right. Logging it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew it.
Right, what are you guys going for? Have you chosen yet? No?
I'm going to wait for John to choose.
Okay. Yeah, I think
you guys...
John knows the most of these. I feel like Rose tried to warn me when she was making this that John knows a lot of these.
If you want me to take some off the table, don't do Citra. That is the 3DS.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. Project Cafe is the Wii U.
Yeah. We can go through a bunch at the end if you think. Like
a bunch of it? Okay. That's fine. I don't know what Orbis is, though, to be absolutely. Anyone know what Orbis is?
I know Orbis.
You know Orbis? Yeah, okay. That's it. All right. What is Colleen? I don't know Colleen.
No
I know
idea.
what Colleen, but I don't know Colleen. All right. I'll take Colleen.
I don't know.
Oh, we're all taking
All
girl
right.
names.
All right.
Or feminine names.
Since
Go
John
Pam.
is taking Colleen, I was going to say, like, does anybody know what Pam
No
is
idea what
aside from
Pam
a
is.
diner waitress?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going Pam.
God, yeah, we're all... Yeah, this is good. I like this. Okay, so we'll do your voice order for last time. So, yeah, Keith, you can start with the questions. Fire away. And then we'll do John and then me and go in the reverse order.
I'm going to go, as I did before, Colleen.
Yes.
Agent Colleen.
Hello,
Was your
I'm
mission
Colleen.
successful?
Hold on. Caught me off guard. Give me a second. What is this?
I don't think this is a woman at all.
Oh no. Hold on.
Minnie Mouse over
Successful? No, I don't. Probably not. I'll be honest on that one. I started out kind of cool, but I'm guessing no. I'm scared.
Oh, that's so funny. Where do you go with that? All right, Colleen, you're up. Next question. Fire away.
Stella.
Yep.
Hi, Stella.
Hello.
Stella. This is harder than I thought.
Especially the voice, you're adding a whole other element.
It's just like,
I'm gonna roll with you. I'm gonna do the voice as well.
Okay, all right. Stella, let's see.
It's like 20
Stella,
questions.
are
Narrow it
you-
down. Yeah.
Narrow it down. Stella, are you, was your first mission after 2000?
No, I'm a lady who's been around. You could say I'm a refined woman.
Oh, you're fine. I like it.
I think we've lost the plot of the secret agent instead of just
What's going on?
It's feeling more like the dating game from 1980.
100% the dating game. All right. We haven't asked the question to Pam yet. Okay. Pam, are Are you an agent that is mobile? Like, do you move around a lot, or do you mostly stay in one location?
Well, at my age, I stay around quite a bit.
Oh, buddy.
Oh my god.
A woman smoking 50 cigarettes at a time. Well, let me be honest with you, kid.
You ain't getting
Mike Wazowski. I've been around for a while.
I'm always watching.
I'm always watching Wazowski. All right, that doesn't help me one damn bit on any of ours.
Well, it's Pam's go again.
It's Pam.
Yeah.
Oh,
second round.
Pam time. All right, let's see here. Stella.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's not me.
Stay in your lane, Colleen.
I'm Colleen. It's like, what is my name?
Are you related to the stars?
No. Not really at all, no. Not in any way. So get off that train.
Pam.
Yes.
Pam, when it comes to your hair color, is it gray?
No, it's brown.
Oh,
Pam, I think we might be related. I think we might be cousins of some kind. So that might give you an idea. Right, so I'm gonna have to go after Colleen then. What do we know about Colleen?
Colleen wasn't a success, I would say.
Colleen wasn't a success.
No, 100% sure on this one.
Maybe we're all related. Colleen, what color's your hair?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm more of I'm gonna say gray colored hair woman.
Well, there we go. Okay, I definitely think Pam and I are related.
Oh, I have a feeling we're related.
So I guess, yeah, we'll start with guessing Keith first.
Okay.
I'll let you go first because
Are we thinking it's a 2600?
No, but no. I do think it's an Atari.
I think it's an Atari. Yeah, it's just like the brown because I relate the wood grain to the 2600.
So what's the other Atari? What's the follow up for the 2600?
The 5200.
Right, I think he's a 5200.
You think he's a 5200? Okay, I'll take 2600 if you want 5200.
All right.
I'm the 5200, baby.
Nice.
Identity. All right, so Colleen next. So you weren't a success and you're grey.
I'm
Ish.
Hold on. Wait, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I want to do Finn's next.
Okay.
I would like to do Finn's next. Yeah, I have a reason why.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have any idea what Finn is? If we're related, if you were a 5200, does that make Finn a 2600? Is that what we're saying?
I'm thinking Finn's 2600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the reason I knew Keith wasn't the 2600. It's because I'm the 2600.
Okay. I was like, wait, you're really on the mark. I'm like, let's not make Keith the 2600. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to think of unsuccessful consoles that like you wouldn't know are unsuccessful by default.
I have a feeling.
Okay.
So I have a long history of experiencing Atari consoles because one of my friends owned like nearly every one of them.
Okay.
And this one was big, clunky, and beige-ish.
No idea what you're referring to.
Is John the Atari 8-bit?
Son of a bitch on the Atari 8-bit.
We're all Ataris and we all sniffed each other.
Sorry, that's why I was like, hold up. We have to do Finn next because we're all picked Atari.
That was fun.
Oh my god!
I was like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "It's a computer. It is literally the 8-bit family. It is a computer." Like, I was like, I know I've played this thing. I know I've seen it. I've never. Like, are you? No. It's like that is a blind spot for me. So I was like, oh god,
Jesus.
That's very funny to me.
That's good.
All right, one more round, and then I think we'll call it quits on this. So, does anyone know the Revolution? No one knows the Revolution.
I do.
Oh,
I know what it is.
Okay. Does anyone know the Xenon?
I have an idea, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'll take that.
Does anyone know what a B-52 Red Lobster is? Because I don't know what the hell that is. I want it.
Yeah, it sounds like a cool
Rock Lobster.
I want the Rock Lobster.
All right.
That's an excellent secret agent name.
Does anybody know what the candy is?
Nope.
No.
Good, because I feel like being a stripper name today, so I'm being candy.
Hell yes.
All right. Well, I feel like I already know what Keith is. I feel like I already know. So, John, let's start with you and then work our way through Keith and then back to me.
All right. Let's see. Candy.
Yes.
Minus $5 tip. What? Oh man, Candy. Would someone? Would your whole concept be in hand, in the sense of just that's what it is? You use your hands, Candy. That's it.
You're handy agent.
You're handy, Candy.
I would say more or less people use their hands on me.
Oh.
This is definitely turning into the dating game very fast.
It really has.
All right, Candy, you're up.
All right, let's see here. Rock Lobster.
Aye, I'm the lobster.
Has your life cycle ended?
Good
question. God, yes.
Good question.
That's a great question. Yes.
He's in retirement.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rock Lobster as well. Is the agency you worked for still in business?
No.
Oh.
It's been a while. Doesn't mean I'm not coming back. I can say that much, but it's been a while.
All right. Back to you, Rock Lobster.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. Xenon, I have to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is one of your mascots a blue hedgehog?
I have no knowledge of such blue hedgehogs.
All right. Not the one I was thinking.
I work on the battlefield, sir. There's not much room for wildlife. Back to you, Candy.
You're Xenon, right, Finn?
I'm Xenon, yes.
I'm not making sure I'm getting my...
It's my code name. It's my code name.
It's my code name, yep.
If you have sold, how much have you sold in your lifetime?
Oh.
Damn.
Straight up. Straight up. Hold on. Because at one point in time, I was known as the most successful in my field. I'm still a player for sure. Do you want to know an exact number? Because that'd be weird to ask an agent that. But it was for sure in the tens of millions. Right?
Oh.
Yes. We were very successful. And we continue to be successful, but in a different way.
Okay.
We judge success differently now. That's what I'll say.
Okay.
Oh, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think we got it.
All right. Candy, I'm going to straight up ask, are you related to any of the three triplets that we saw previously?
Yes.
Okay. God damn it, Candy. Alright, so we'll start with that then. So, Candy's an Atari of some kind. I can't think of any more Ataris. Did Atari make a handheld?
The Atari 400.
Oh, the 400. Alright.
Yeah, that's what came on the 8-bit family that I was at. Like, yeah, it had 400 and 800 and then 1630 and all that stuff.
Alright.
Oh, God. All right, then.
You have an idea of what I am, so fire away.
I'm going to take a while. 360.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
I am the Xbox 360. So, John's is an interesting one. B-52 Rock Lobster, no longer in business. Definitely past its life cycle. So, I'm trying to think.
Definitely past its life cycle. I'm thinking a lot of these things are old. Like, if you know the newer stuff like 360 and stuff like that. I'm guessing he was probably in schools at some point.
We're thinking along the same lines.
I'm thinking he was a computer of some sort.
Yeah,
And the only thing I know that was in my school at a time was the Amiga.
So, I'm thinking along similar routes to you. He's talking like a grizzled old veteran for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's like the Commodore 64.
All right. I am. I'll give you guys points. Commodore Amiga 500. I am the PC.
Damn. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So we were in the middle there. Yeah.
You're in the middle. I'll give it to you. And the only reason I said I'm coming back is because a retro mini Amiga 500 is coming out.
That's right.
Oh,
yep. That's why I was like, well, I'm coming back.
Coming back.
Shit's getting real.
Put me back in.
I smoked like 10 pack today. I'm coming back.
I'm coming back.
That was fun. That was a good game.
That was a good game.
Quickly rattling through this. The ones I know are Durango, which was the Xbox One. Scorpio, which was the Xbox
One X.
Oh, it was the One X? I thought it was the series.
Yeah, Scorpio was the One X.
So what was the series then?
Series... I don't... Off the top of my head, I don't remember what the series was.
Interesting. So Orbis is the PS4. I remember that.
Okay.
Morpheus is the PSVR.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I know what the Neptune is, which is unreleased Sega Saturn stuff.
Okay.
PSX is a given. That's PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Because it was
Revolution. Yeah, Revolution was the Wii. Scorpio.
NX
we did
Switch.
that one.
Dolphin was the GameCube.
Yep.
Yeah, Dolphin was the GameCube. What is Oxygen? That one I was like, I gotta.
Yeah, what is Oxygen?
Oh, the Game Boy Micro.
Oh, Dot
That's
Matrix
right.
game was the Game Boy, which I didn't think of initially, but yeah, totally makes sense. Virtual Utopia Experience was the Virtual Boy.
Good God.
Oh.
What is the PlayStation Move was the Arc.
So this is interesting. Apparently the Dreamcast went through several names. White Belt, Katana, Guppy, Black Belt, Shark, and Dural.
Okay.
That's
All right.
a lot of code names.
That's why I didn't choose that, because I knew it was the Dreamcast.
All right. Yeah, and what was the Citra again? It was 3DS.
3DS, yeah.
Yeah, 3DS.
Only reason why I know that is because the emulator is
It's called the Citra.
Citra, yeah.
Oh, and the Revolution was the Wii. I think I remember that.
Yeah, Revolution was the Wii.
Yeah. It's interesting. Some people follow like a theme, and others just don't.
Just do whatever they want.
Yeah, make up words and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, I knew the Mark V,
the Microsoft Active Reality Zone.
Yeah, I knew the Mark.
It's the OG Xbox.
What is it, Mark V or Mark 5? I knew that because if you ever play Game Dev Tycoon, they go through like gaming history and stuff, and they always have to name things different names, like for copyright reasons. So yeah, the Genesis, they call that the Mark 5 in the game, which is pretty neat. And yeah, I think they call the GameCube the Dolphin in that as well. So yeah, it's one of those things you never really think about, but a lot of work goes into like keeping it covert and stuff. Yeah.
Unless you're Atari, naming it after strippers and cafe workers.
Yeah. Life's gonna be real rough, kid.
That's gonna get real fast, guys. I've been around the block a while.
All right.
Smoke that fat back today.
Before we finish up here, we're going to have to, of course, look at the games coming out this month and what we're excited for. Again, as we go through this list, each of us are going to give one game our nod, just to give a special shout out to keep an eye on it. Not necessarily that it's for sure going to be like a great game, but just keep an eye on it, you know? Starting off on the 5th with Call of Duty Vanguard. Anyone still excited for Call of Duty in this group? No.
I'm excited that it's not going to score well so Rose doesn't get points.
Right.
I just hear it like you're a jerk. I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm here to win, okay?
Yeah, this will be like the... Yeah, there's too many Call of Duty games now. It's now not even like the yearly release. It's like there's multiple things hitting you up in parallel, like with Warzone and stuff. So I'm just completely not interested in that at all. Forza Horizon 5 on the 9th.
That's mine. That's got to be mine. I love Forza. Of course, it's my nod. Yeah. Freaking love Forza. I hate that you picked it up in the Fantasy League. You know what you're getting. You know what you're getting. You're getting beautiful, just scenery in Mexico. Awesome cars by the power of the Xbox One X.
Series X.
Or Xbox Series X, I'm sorry. And it's going to be freaking great. Like, that is my chill game. Like, everyone has their chill game. I can just jump in a car and I can just drive. I don't care. Mm-hmm. And I cannot wait. I need to pre-download it. And then I think, and I figured it out too. Like, since I have Game Pass, I can pre-download it. And then if I get a like $10 off of the collector's edition, and I get more cars, and I can open it up like 4 days early. And I'm like, that's good enough for me.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to Forza Horizon 5, and especially since I know it's going to be on Game Pass, but it's kind of makes me sad because I know I won't get the full advantage of it because I don't have a Series X, and I'm still waiting to upgrade my graphics card from a PC, so I don't know if it can handle the full force that is Forza Horizon 5. And God knows I won't be able to upgrade that for years, so might have to sit on
2024.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to be able to upgrade your PC for a while. They just released DDR5 and the new Intel 12's generation, whatever.
Oh boy.
Ugh.
Yeah. I'm just going to have to go with what you said, John. Just go pre-built, bite the bullet.
Just pre-built. Just screw it. Just say pre-built. That made life easier for me.
Yeah. Jurassic World Evolution 2. One of those games that got like a lot, like about 10 showings during E3 this year. It was everywhere. Jeff Goldblum was speaking in my ear. It's finally coming out. I like management games. I like Roller Coaster Tycoon or like Theme Hospital type games, but Jurassic World, I guess I never was super huge into the film, so it's never really appealed to me. But definitely like the chaos of running a dinosaur park is interesting. So, and from what I understand, Evolution 1 did well, so glad it's getting a sequel. It deserves. On the 11th of the 11th,
I cannot believe you added this.
2021.
I cannot believe you added this to
the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Anniversary Edition.
I'm going to come there and break your kneecaps.
The fact that this was on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and now we're on the PS5 and Xbox Series.
No.
The Switch.
And fridges. And Alexas.
My Alexa.
Yeah.
It's freaking everywhere. Has it come to the point where it is now it's memed itself and now it's its own meme? Like in the sense of like it's memed like to the fourth power or some crap like that?
John, it's so funny that I was looking up like the reveal of this stupid thing during QuakeCon, and it's like the inside Xbox style where they're all sitting around a couch talking over B-roll, and they're all talking about like how revolutionary this is and how like, oh, look at the differences in like the game we played 10 years ago. It's like, shut up.
It's the same
It looks
freaking
exactly
game.
the same.
It's the same game. It's the same game.
The same bugs, same game. The only thing that's changed is Todd Howard has now managed to force people to buy Skyrim on every nearly existing console.
It's probably on Atari. You don't know it's not. Have you checked?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Doom is on Twitter.
It's like, has it become the new Doom? Can you run Skyrim on everything now?
Skyrim.
In almost complete contrast, though, on the same day, a game which is also released on countless systems previous, but this one takes a better spin, and it's getting my nod. Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition.
It's getting your nod.
It's
really?
getting my nod.
Wow.
All right.
Other than perhaps Crash Bandicoot, San Andreas was probably the most formative game I've ever played.
I love San Andreas.
It was my growing up. It was 90% of the time spent with the PS2 was playing San Andreas. I can't wait to dive back into that with a whole new form of polish. And you know what?
It looks good.
It looks great. Probably won't even buy the collection. Probably will just take San Andreas on Game Pass and just let that
Call
be.
it a day.
Vice City was good too. I liked Vice City. Never really got into 3. I think that was before my time. But definitely San Andreas. I could not rate a game higher at the time. It was just so fun. Just even like beyond story and stuff, just as a pure sandbox at the time, it was like nothing else. And man, can't wait to sink my teeth back into that one. But weird, right? That we're comparing Skyrim and GTA San Andreas. Like, they're very similar, but this one's being treated with much more care,
right?
And elevate it. So yeah, you wanna be
when the trailer dropped, I was actually very impressed with what they decided to do and how they polished it.
Right.
And I'm with you. I think I'm just gonna Game Pass it, but I might pick it up. I'm not sure yet.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 on the 12th.
I had to remember that you guys flip the numbers because I was like, my birthday's the 12th, and I was like, but of November, and I was like, why do you have it on coming out in December, Finn? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Then date.
You mean
date then month.
You mean correct?
I'm not going to fight you. I think it works. I just have to remember that when I'm fine with it.
I thought Notion would fix that for you, though. I didn't think that would be an issue, but yeah.
We found out a lot of what Notion doesn't fix when we screw with each other when it comes to the width of the damn thing.
Messes up dates, messes up width. I will probably never play this game, but I'm rooting for it, if purely for the Fantasy League.
So this is getting my nod.
Oh,
yes.
Megami Tensei 5 is getting my nod.
I'm shook because I know what's coming up. All right, getting a nod.
So the main reason why this is getting my nod is we haven't really had a mainline SMT game in a while. It's been mostly Persona for the past few years. We've had some on the DS. We just recently had the remaster of
Personas
of
every
3.
year. It feels like, shoveling out that franchise.
And this takes a return to the brutally hard. Now, the normal mode of these games is hard.
Right.
It's not an easy game. It expects the player to learn, take advantage of buffs, debuffs, and it's basically Pokemon but with demons from biblical lore and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great.
Yeah.
I mean,
the treehouse that I watched of it looked very interesting. I just don't know if I'll be able to have an honest conversation. I'm going to sit down and play this game at some point. You know what I mean?
I think I'm leaving that one up to Rose. I think she's going to pick it up.
Oh.
I'm not. Yeah, I'll stick with Persona.
Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 coming out on the 16th. This one...
Weren't we all a little impressed by this one when they showed it? Because I think it was on the Xbox showcase during E3, and we're like, this doesn't deserve to look this good and be at least slightly intriguing.
It's going for it, man. It's like, it's taking the Sherlock Holmes property and doing its own thing. And I like it.
I'm in.
He's young, he's sexy, he's solving mysteries with RTX on, and I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Then the 19th, Battlefield 2042 coming out to combat Vanguard, I guess, earlier in the month. This one feels like it's just going to be dumb fun for me. I don't know if I'll pick it up, but I know a lot of people here are going to pick it up, so I have like that group waiting for me if I decide to go that way. But yeah, the fact that it's multiplayer only, I think, is a wise decision. Focus on what you're good at. And yeah, basically the main excitement is the user-created like game mode features that they have. I think it's the Portal or whatever it's called. I want to see some crazy stuff going with that.
Are you ready for it to eat up like 90% of your space on any system you put it on?
Yeah, it's pretty huge, right? I saw that. I can't remember the number, but it's massive.
Yeah. Just one update. Time to get a new hard drive.
Oh, God.
And on that same day, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
I'm picking it up.
Yeah, I have to pick this up, I think.
Yeah, I do too.
It's my thing right now. I'm going through a little bit of a change, as it were, and that change costs money. And I have there's 2 games already on this list. They're taking up $60. Yeah. I don't need a third game taking up $60.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm not sure how this game will land. There's been a lot of discourse over the art style and things and how much like effort they're putting into it. But this will be my first go at it, so I don't really want that huge of an upgrade. I just want to be able to play Diamond and Pearl in the most modern, accessible way possible. So this is just going to be that for me. And then finally, on the 23rd, Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Keith,
I'm surprised, Keith.
I
am so surprised.
The reason why it's not getting my nod. Everybody already knows I'm excited for it.
He's cheating the system. Okay. He's cheating the system. He knew he was doing it.
Well, that's the case. Then I'll give my nod to Sherlock Holmes. Why? Because he's sexy in RTX. Everyone knew I was getting Forza.
It's all compromised. The nods
Everybody
are compromised.
knows.
Oh, man.
So the thing is you said our nods is for games that we want people to recognize. At this moment in time, Final Fantasy XIV is the biggest thing since forever. Hi, everybody. Keith here with Now to Play. So, the November podcast was recorded a little bit in October, and we did not have the current information that we have on Final Fantasy XIV right now. Unfortunately, due to certain quality assurance testings, Final Fantasy XIV has been delayed until December. Unfortunate, yes. The issue with recording a podcast early and deciding what games are coming out that month. So, look forward to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker in December. Hopefully I will be there with my early reactions and impressions. Look forward to that video coming soon.
You know what? You're right.
Valid point.
Totally right. Using the nods as they were intended. Can't fault it. But yeah, if you're interested, go watch Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker trailer reaction from Keith, now in the Now to Play Games YouTube channel. Can't remember when that was. That feels like a long time ago, though. But it's up there. Go watch it.
A long time ago.
Go watch the excitement.
God, 5 months ago? 4 months ago? I don't remember.
Long time.
Long time.
Long build-up, long hype cycle. But yeah, that's what we've got for November. A little bit of a light month, but I appreciate it coming up. It's basically going to be a month for me for playing games I missed so far in 2021. Probably Death's Door's up there. So, not a lot of new, but yeah. We like these months. But yeah, there's something there for everybody, I think. So that's all we have for you this episode. Thank you for sticking with us. If it is your first time and you like what you heard, consider giving us a good rating on your podcast service of choice. Or if you're watching the video version on YouTube, we'd appreciate you giving us a subscribe. And share a piece of good news of your own in the comments to send good vibes and, warm us during this cold November month. If you want more of Now to Play, you can head over to your social channels, search Now to Play Games, and you're sure to find us. Till next time, I've been Finn. Thanks to John and Keith for joining me in this episode, and we'll see you all in December.
Bye.
Bye-bye.